with just enough force to give confidence. Learn more about leadership in an MBA program from Utah State University. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
Attention Wasatch Front businesses and property managers. Don't wait for bad weather to schedule professional snow service with GoPave Utah. Your complete parking lot safety starts at gopavutah.com.
Hot Tub Factory Outlet and Backyards of America is back with the hottest deals of the year. We're clearing out our 2023 models to make way for the new 2024 arrivals. And trust us, you don't want to miss this sale. Just two local guys offering incredible pricing and the biggest hot tub and swim spa sale around. Savings are big with a whopping $6,000 off the MSRP on 10 select Sundance model hot tubs and $8,000 off on our huge selection of swim spas. But wait, there's more. Buy local, and you'll experience the magic of having an in-house service technician at your beck and call. Visit the biggest swim spa supercenter in the state with 8 in-stock models ready for delivery. Get a jaw-dropping $6,000 off our select Sundance model hot tubs and a whopping $8,000 off our swim spas. MSRP while supplies last. Visit Backyards of America in Sandy and Hot Tub Factory Outlet in Draper next to Cowabunga Bay, or visit us online at hottubfactoryoutlets.com.
Time for traffic and weather together here, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Eric Butler's in the traffic center.
Actually, it's Len Thomas.
Oh, hey, Len.
Hey, how you doing? We do have a stalled vehicle that's causing that slowing on eastbound I-80. That's Immigration Canyon, actually. At I-80 at East Canyon. Got a right lane closed there. Otherwise, I-15 is moving along through the valley, Salt Lake Valley, Davis County, and Utah County. Got a little bit of slowing still as you make your way in Davis County, as you make your way southbound through Kaysville down to the ponds. Master storyteller and songwriter Michael McLean will be live on stage with the full Forgotten Carols cast in Orem, Ogden, Salt Lake, Tooele, Vernal, and Heber. Tickets going fast at ForgottenCarols.com. Len Thomas in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, the weather, what you see is what you get. Nothing but blue sky and sunshine today, but it's going to fool you a little bit. It's not going to get all that warm. We won't make it to 50. 49 in the forecast, and right now it is 36 degrees in Salt Lake City. At KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
We got tons of big stories to cover today, including finally a deal reached in the actors' strike. Got that one figured out. We're going to dive into that in the 11 o'clock hour and how it impacted Utah. Also, the GOP trying to figure out why they keep losing. That was a hot topic last night's debate.
And they tried to talk about it, but mostly just danced around the issue. It's 9:07. It's time for the launch.
Sequence engaged.
And here are 3 things Debbie wants you to know.
Countdown. 3.
This is another big story today. Certainly be water cooler chat at the office, turning health care on its ear, giving families a better shot at an extremely affordable health care insurance option. For less than a hamburger at Five Guys, David, you can get primary care insurance for $9 a month through Amazon Prime. If you have a family member, it's basically like a side of fries. It's $6 a month per person. Additionally, like $9 plus $6 for the kids, for $6 for your spouse. If you need prescriptions, there's even a membership for that too through Amazon. $5 a month, less than a latte.
What I'm seeing, Deb, is if you add it all together, if I'm taking my entire family and I'm putting them on this account, quote unquote, coverage, it's less than a few $100s.
Mm-hmm.
That is way less than most people's premiums every single month.
Countdown. 2.
Oh, Kaysville. Dave's sweet little hometown of Kaysville. Still on its hands and knees begging for Trader Joe's to come to their city. But the thing that's weird about this is we don't know if Trader Joe's is on the hunt for a new location in K-Town. Look, I want to date Brad Pitt, but Brad Pitt doesn't know I even exist. But you got to give it to Kaysville. They keep begging and begging. This time, they brought out the cheer squad, and later in the show, the mayor is going to join us.
When we say traitors,
Dave, you said you're surrounded by positive protests to bring. Have you ever seen a city beg for a retailer to have? Usually they don't want to have anything to do with the new retail outlet.
I'm just scratching my head. I have no idea what's going on in my town. I have absolutely no idea.
Lost your mind.
Why we became obsessed all of a sudden with Trader Joe's. Of all the companies in America, Trader Joe's is where we like laser focus and we're begging. Come on, guys, you can do it.
It's the garlic stuffed olives. It's the garlic stuffed olives. They're cheap.
Launch countdown 1.
Well, there was the debate again, and this time there were 5 Republicans on the stage trying to figure out why they keep losing elections. And the candidates were pointing straight at the man, Donald Trump.
And he said Republicans were going to get tired of winning. Well, we saw last night, I'm sick of Republicans losing.
If everybody on the stage would stop running to be Trump's vice president, maybe we'd get a more honest look into what's going on in the Republican Party.
The Race for the White House. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
What is the future? What's the future of the Republican Party? I've been asking this for a couple of days now, maybe even a couple of years now, since the red wave never gets red and it never waves. Will they continue to move forward with former President Trump as their leader?
And they don't really have a choice right now because he's by far the most popular candidate. Everybody else is just playing for second place right now, and they're punching each other out on the stage. And Trump just keeps boycotting the debates. He's already announced that he's not going to participate in the 4th debate.
It's a party of losers. That kept coming up last night, as you heard.
That's that's not
Well,
Debbie
looking in the
Dujanovic saying it's a party of losers. That's your own team saying we're a party of losers.
And he said Republicans were going to get tired of winning. Well, we saw last night, I'm sick of Republicans losing.
But not all the candidates are putting the blame on Trump.
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party.
Fire the CEO? Is that what he's alluding to? Get rid of her?
Here's the problem. Nobody knows who Ronna McDaniels is. Outside of the insiders, the Republican Party, nobody knows who the Republican National Chair is. Nobody knows who the Democratic National Chair is.
That's a great point. They know who the candidates are.
Yep.
Yeah. They know what the issues are, right? Boyd Matheson asked the question yesterday, will anyone besides Chris Christie criticize Donald Trump? Well, here's Gov DeSantis.
Now, if you look where we are now, it's a lot different than we were in 2016. And Donald Trump's a lot different guy than he was in 2016. He owes it to you to be on this stage and explain why he should get another chance. He should explain why he didn't have Mexico pay for the border wall. He should explain why he racked up so much debt. He should explain why he didn't drain the swamp.
Okay, that's Ron DeSantis, but there's a surging Nikki Haley who had something to say.
You know, everybody wants to talk about President Trump. Well, I can talk about President Trump. I can tell you that I think he was the right president at the right time. I don't think he's the right president now. I think that he put us $8 trillion in debt, and our kids are never going to forgive us for that. I think the fact that he used to be right on Ukraine and foreign issues, now he's getting weak in the knees and trying to be friendly again. I think that we've got to go back to the fact that we can't live in the past. We can't live in other headlines. We've got to start focusing on what's going to make America strong and proud.
And you can hear in their voices, they're criticizing without opening up the entire fire hose, right? This is just a little trickle in a stream against Trump.
And I'll say this about Donald Trump. Anybody who's going to be spending the next year and a half of their life focusing on keeping themselves out of jail and courtrooms cannot lead this party or this country, and it needs to be said plainly.
Next, our very own Boyd Matheson with an eye on last night's debate. His analysis straight ahead.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Did you know Utah has just one all-news station in the morning?
It's this one. Weekday mornings between 5 and 9.
Start your days with us. We're Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
Your morning companions for news.
Utah's special election seems much closer this week. Hard to believe we're into November already. And we're 1 year away from another presidential election.
Polls find voters are not happy with the frontrunners from either party.
For wall-to-wall election coverage, we have you covered. Your voice, your vote. 2023 on KSL News Radio.
Hey, folks, let me tell you, if you're thinking about installing some lights, maybe a ceiling fan, smoke detector, maybe an EV charging station, let me tell you about Master Electrical.
We love Master Electrical's upfront pricing guarantee, which means when they come to your house to give you that bid, it's guaranteed. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter when they get into the ceiling and they realize they have to do a little something different because they couldn't see it. And that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, at the end of the job, you're going to be guaranteed that upfront pricing is going to be the price you pay at the end of the job.
And once you see that bid and you agree to that price, they're not going to try to upcharge you. In fact, their system is not even going to allow them to change it and upcharge you more.
I always love that Master Electrical is always open for emergency services, because emergencies are never convenient. So when you need them, you need them. And here's where you're going to call. You're going to call 801-543-2222. Again, 801-543-2222.
Or check them out online at masterelectrical.com.
Get ready, Utah. It's Medicare annual enrollment period, so why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Utah, trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Everybody knows that exterior remodeling salespeople are all about the high-pressure sell. Am I right? Windows, siding, gutters, those suckers are going to twist your arm and get you to buy, or they won't leave your house at night. Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and I want you to know we don't have high-pressure cells. In fact, we don't even have salespeople. Nope, we have estimators. That's a huge difference. Estimators are trained to look at the entire scope of the project, to see and know if there are any problems, like rotten wood, wood-borne insects, or construction issues specific to your house or your neighbors. Salespeople are more concerned about playing those silly price games. Buy one, get one free, sign today and get 40% off, as if they didn't just jack the price up to give you a fake discount. RGS Exteriors estimators are going to give you a great quote. No games, no tricks, no nonsense. Call RGS Exteriors to quote your exterior project. Our number is 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's rgsutah.com.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. Got the Western Nut Company catalog in the mail the other day. I love the holiday season because since 1966, Western Nut has certainly been a part of our holidays at the Wright family. Right now, they are doing something extra special. I don't think they've ever done this before. Friends and family discount for all of us for just a couple of days coming up on November 9th through the 11th. Mark your calendar. You're going to save like crazy, not only on the nuts and the goodies, the candies and the peanut brittle, but you're going to save on decor as well. As a matter of fact, in the store, they're going to have people there who can really help you out and give you some advice for decorating this holiday season. You're going to be amazed. That store is wonderful at 434 South on 3rd West. Don't miss it. The Friends and Family event, 20% off on everything in the store. Mark your calendar. It's on November 9th through the 11th, the Western Nut Company.
Holiday stories from Shane Company customers.
My girlfriend thinks we're going to my parents' house to decorate the tree. She has no idea that I'm actually planning to propose. The whole family's in on it, and Shane Company helped me create the perfect ring and stay within my budget. I went with a classic ring with an oval diamond. I tell you, that diamond, I can't wait to see the look on her face.
Shop the largest selection of unique engagement rings in hand-picked diamonds. 'Tis the season to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Tim Hughes. First, police have arrested a 16-year-old suspect who they say shot a man after a road rage incident on the Antelope Island Causeway. Second, Pleasant Grove High School students, parents, and staff are protesting what they see as a light punishment after a rival high school put a disqualified player on the field during a key game. And third, the U.S. has blown up a Syrian weapons depot after Iran-backed forces shot down an American drone. We will look for a high today in Salt Lake City of 49 degrees, and right now in Salt Lake City, a chilly 46. Back to David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
The race for the White House. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
Everyone on the GOP debate stage last night has had their moment over the last several months. Ron DeSantis peaked. He's settled into a comfortable second place behind Trump. Ramaswamy surged. He's kind of he's remained relevant, although I think weakened. But right now, it's really former Governor Nikki Haley.
Yeah, I think in part because she's done so well in the debates. I think every single debate, you look at it and you think, wow, you know what? She seems presidential. What she says is reasoned, whether you agree with it or not. She makes a compelling argument. I think she's done very well. But Boyd Matheson, who joins us right now, Boyd, you said yesterday, and by the way, all of your predictions were like exactly what happened. I don't know how you're scripting all of this out, but it's exactly what happened. But you said that because Nikki Haley is doing well right now, that they're probably going to have somebody going after her, try to knock her down a rung. Well, let's listen. Apparently, anyone that needs to get knocked down a rung, that falls on Vivek Ramaswamy.
Fact of the matter is the Republican Party is not that much better. You have the likes of Nikki Haley, who stepped down from her time at the UN. Bankrupt or in debt was her family. Then she becomes a military contractor. She joins the board of Boeing and otherwise, and is now a multimillionaire. So I think that that's wrong when Republicans do it or Democrats do it. That's the choice we face. Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case we've got two of them on stage.
Mr. Ramaswamy, thank you.
Didn't she have a comeback for that?
I'd first like to say they're 5-inch heels, and I don't wear them unless you can run in them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Two of you on stage.
I'll tell you what 5-inch heels are for.
Is I wear heels. They're not for a fashion statement.
That's
they're
right.
for ammunition. I don't wear them unless you can run in them.
Yep. She knows exactly where she's at. She's very comfortable with her experience and her knowledge, and she knows right where she's going with her policies.
Yeah, and she did. She responded for the most part. She kept her cool. There was one exchange where Vivek Ramaswamy went after her daughter for being on TikTok.
I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Your adult daughter. The next generation of Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth. The easy answer is actually to say that we're just going to ban one app. We got to go further. We have to ban any U.S. company actually transferring U.S. data to the Chinese.
To your point, Boyd, you peck at somebody long enough, and they're going to snap.
Yeah, and clearly Ramaswamy was wildly inappropriate. You do not go after the children. That is off limits. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, or anything in between. Yeah. You don't play
Chelsea
in that
Clinton did this all the time when Trump was in office, defending Barron Trump, saying, stop talking about this kid. He has nothing to do with any of your politics.
Yeah, and of course the
Especially
irony
if it's just like using social media. I was like, come on.
Everyone's on social media.
Everybody's doing that. And here's the
I'm on that
Here's
app.
the really rich irony of all of that. One is Ramaswamy's whole campaign is run on TikTok. And then the ultimate irony, there was a good chunk of the debate that focused on TikTok. 2 of the commercial breaks were sponsored by TikTok. Nobody's talking about that. Is that not stunning to anyone that there was this whole big debate and you had Lester Holt and Kirsten Walker going at it in terms of how vital this is and we have to have this serious conversation? And the ads are TikTok. Anyway, that was
good catch,
that was really fascinating to me that the corporate dollar still flew in the end.
Yeah, we all have our our integrity until there's enough dollar signs. And you're like, well, maybe I don't care so much.
Boyd, what's your analysis of how last night's debate went? We were down to 5 candidates. I know who stood out to me. I made it clear it's probably Nikki Haley, but
yeah, Nikki Haley had the best night, to be sure. She was, again, strong foreign policy. And, again, it just shows you how events that you cannot control in a campaign often drive the campaign. And the fact that 35 days ago, before October the 7th, Nikki Haley's campaign was struggling. They did not have any good grounding. They'd had a couple of good debates, but really didn't have a message that was resonating anywhere. And then suddenly things continue to escalate in Ukraine. China starts rattling sabers a little bit more in the Taiwan Straits. And then you have this horrific Hamas attack in Israel. And suddenly foreign policy is the middle of the conversation. And so there are often things, and I think there are still things that will happen globally that will impact this race. There may be things that happen in courtrooms that ultimately impact who the Republican nominee will be. And so Nikki Haley captured that moment. And as always, the test is not the debate. The debate happens. It's what's the punch-through strategy for your campaign coming out of it. So that will be the test for Nikki Haley. Can she parlay this into some momentum?
I did feel that when I was watching this, and again, another Boyd Stradamus moment where you predicted, they were going to talk about the Republican losing streak, tying it to former President Trump. It did feel like they did so in the nicest possible way. I mean, it was not a fire hose of criticism at the former president. It did feel to me that they were saying, I'm just asking some questions, why he's not here, why he's not answering this question or that question. Are you surprised that they're still pulling their punches? And are they pulling their punches because they just want to be the vice president?
Yeah, I don't know that anybody on that stage is playing for the vice presidential role. I just don't see any of those.
Then why are they being so nice?
That is the ultimate question, and I don't get it, because I thought they would be much stronger last night. You had Ron DeSantis said, "Hey, we've lost, so we've got to get to a new leader and a change." Ramaswamy called for the resignation of the chair of the McDaniels. So there were a few moments like that where they took it off a little bit. But I think the challenge, and I think what they're most worried about, is not that they're running for vice president, but they're running for president. But in order to become the president, you have to win the nomination. And currently, the former president has a base, and you can't offend the base. Those are the people you're trying to get to move your way. And so the question is, how do you do that in a way? And I think where all the candidates failed last night was in building the bridge from that base of supporters that are still saying, hey, I think I'll still stick with the former president, to, look, here's the policies, here's the principles. You don't have to have all of that. You can have everything you want, and we can actually win and do it better. But nobody made that case in a powerful way.
So you don't feel like anybody moved the needle in their favor away from former President Trump?
I think they created some space. Nikki Haley did the best job in terms of creating that. I actually thought Chris Christie had a really good night in an interesting way. I mean, he's clearly there to take on the former president, but even he got very sober and very somber in a couple of moments and was quite statesman-like, actually, which is a rarity for Chris Christie. He was in a statesman role, and so he created a little space. And so, but someone's got to drive a Mack truck through that if there's going to be any kind of real change. But you have to do it with a bridge. You can't do it by talking down to those folks and just attacking the former president. That's not going to get any followers, and that's what you're after. You're not trying to just get rid of the people who you think are wrong.
You're trying to gently bring them over to
team.
It's
a persuasion thing.
Fill in the
and so
blank.
that's why,
okay.
Kind of going full circle to Dave's point, that's why I think it was still a little soft, is because it's the art of persuasion. You can't just hit them over the head with it.
So let's just take 30 seconds here and look ahead. Who's next to drop off the debate stage? They're down to 5. They were down to 5 last night. Who's next to go?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some interesting. So the Republican National Committee has not put the rules out for the next debate and what the qualifications will be. That will really drive it. But they're really trying to control everything. In fact, there was supposed to be a Thanksgiving conversation with all the candidates happening the week after next. And the Republican National Committee told all the candidates last night, if you go to that, you're off the next debate stage. So they're trying to really control the messaging there, which I think is a huge mistake on the Republican National Committee's point. So I'm not sure exactly who drops off next. I think
who do you think?
I think Chris Christie. He's kind of starting to get to that point where you could feel just a little sense. Tim Scott's going to struggle making the next. He barely made this debate stage.
Agree.
I'd be surprised if he made the next round, because he's still just not getting any kind of traction in places where he has to.
So
get it.
I think we're thinking alike. I think it's going to be Tim Scott and it's going to be Chris Christie. That are going to be the
Christie
next to
probably can
fall
hold on
off.
a little bit longer because he seems to have a role in it.
But he's holding on by a bobby pin. Come on.
Yeah, but he might make the next round, and then there'll be the three. And you have to be realistic in the three. Vivek Ramaswamy is going to stay in because he can continue to poll at about 4%. That's all he's getting. He's spending gazillions of dollars to be 4%, but he could still hang on and still be there as sort of the foil. But really, this appears to be shaping up as a Nikki Haley and a Ron DeSantis.
Boyd Matheson, Inside Sources today from 1 to 3. Thanks, Boyd.
Straight ahead, threats at places of worship like synagogues have increased significantly, even here along the Wasatch Front. We're going to dive into how we can beef up security for churches next.
What do you need to hear in the morning to feel ready for the day?
Important news that happened overnight, the traffic you'll hit on the roads.
You'll be ready for your day with us.
Join Utah's Morning News 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
(9:30) at KSL News Radio. I'm Tim Hughes with a look at some of our top stories this half hour. Utah's debt is the fourth largest in the nation, according to Wallet Hub. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has more on how to bring that down.
Zions Bank Region President Stephanie Sherrill says financial self-control is one of your strongest tools to avoid debt. Really ask yourself, do I really need this item? And if you do, plan it out and try not to pay for it with your credit card. Speaking of credit cards, pay more than just the monthly minimum, but if you are in debt, talk to your bank and tackle the small debts first. This will give you the confidence to take on the larger debts.
All of this is especially important as we head into the holiday season. Residents in Kaysville want Trader Joe's to come to their city, and they'll do just about anything to get it. Mayor Tammy Tran says many people are submitting location requests to Trader Joe's, trying to entice the grocery store chain to look further north in Utah than Salt Lake City.
In their request, people will send me a screenshot of, hey, this is what I said. These are the reasons why I said Kaysville's a great location. These are the things that I like to buy at Trader Joe's.
Tran says they haven't heard back from Trader Joe's but aren't giving up anytime soon. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. 5 candidates hit the stage for the third Republican presidential debate last night. Foreign policy was a hot topic. Host of KSL News Radio's Inside Sources, you just heard from him, Boyd Matheson, said this gave former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley a chance to stand out among the other candidates.
It's a great advantage to Nikki Haley right now. Having the experience of dealing with the diplomatic dance, which is always a tricky thing, to have relationships in all those different countries is really important.
He adds that Haley's experience as an ambassador allowed her to work with countries considered close allies and enemies, a valuable skill in the Oval Office. Your money at this moment, the market's just narrow trading, and actually the Dow is playing yo-yo above and beyond zero here. We just dropped less than a point. The S&P is up, but less than 3, and the NASDAQ is on the plus side this hour by about 17.5. Coming up, we're cold, but getting a little bit warmer. The trend goes that way through the middle of next week. We'll check the forecast next. KSL News Time, 9:33. What do you need to hear in the morning to feel ready for the day?
Important news that happened overnight, the traffic you'll hit on the roads.
You'll be ready for your day with us.
Join Utah's Morning News 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
If you're wondering how you can
easy
change
to think
your
all
life,
money managers are pretty much the same. But at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No. Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No. We have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Cyprus Credit Union has got the ease and expertise for all your business needs. Ask Cyprus about payroll and HR resources, payment processing systems, lending needs, and more. Visit cypruscu.com.
You know that what I love more than anything is data-driven results. And that's what my SOTA weight loss journey has been all about. I know you weren't expecting data-driven and weight loss to come in the same space, but that's what SOTA weight loss is all about. It's SOTA, state-of-the-art weight loss, and it's science, it's data, and it's results that actually work. I lost 37 pounds in just 90 days. I'm almost 2 years in now. I feel better. I have more energy because I've learned through my coach and nutritionist, our weekly consultations. We've changed the emotional habits in terms of eating. We've actually reframed and recalibrated my body to make sure it's burning the right things for fuel so that I feel better, I look better, I can actually perform and be better. And that's the result that you want. That's the result that we all want. And I'm not the only one getting these kinds of results. There are thousands of people across the country doing exactly the same because it is based on science. As I always say, when it comes to your SOTA weight loss journey, there's no time to lose. There's only time to win. So start winning. The data and the results don't lie. Check it out at sotaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Len, how we doing out there?
Well, we're looking pretty good, actually. We do have a stalled vehicle still eastbound I-80 at the East Canyon exit, still blocking the far right lane. In Lehigh, we have a crash southbound I-15 at the ramp to Triumph Boulevard ramp, but really no slowing in the area. It's on the right shoulder. Otherwise, along the Wasatch Front metro area, except for southbound slowing and construction, the Legacy Parkway is where it is. Legacy Parkway coming off of I-15 Farmington into Centerville. Witness the magic of the Nutcracker opening December 8th with timeless music of Tchaikovsky, performed live by the Ballet West Orchestra. Tickets at balletwest.org. Len Thomas in the KSL Traffic Center.
Quick look at the weather here. Sweaters are in order with temperatures in the 40s, but they will keep climbing until the mid-60s by Monday. Looks like we'll stay there at least through Wednesday of next week. Not a raindrop or snowflake to be seen. A few clouds are going to roll in tomorrow, however. Right now, sunny skies. It's really a pretty morning. 38 degrees at KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
David Dujanovic.
Here's some headlines that we've been keeping an eye on. Synagogues in 12 states targeted in hoax calls to police. And then after the Israel-Hamas war broke out, here's another one. The FBI warns of threats. Law enforcement steps up patrols. And in Utah, remember, synagogues were evacuated due to bomb threats. It's all caught the attention of entire communities. It's also caught the attention, certainly, of the FBI and other federal agencies that are looking out for synagogues and other houses of worship. It's also caught the attention of presidential candidates like Tim Scott.
At the end of the day, we should not forget the fact that over the last several months and frankly several years, we've seen the strongest increase in hate against Jewish people in our country from a religious standpoint than any other religious group in the country.
You'll remember we've spoken to Jewish leaders, rabbis, that have told us that here in Utah, they have a former Marine that has volunteered his time to stand watch. That is incredible. I'm a churchgoer. I go to church every week. I have never once thought about my safety. I just don't think about that. While the Jewish community has a former Marine standing guard as people are coming into the synagogue.
Matt Beaudry is the Protective Security Advisor for CISA, which is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency within the federal government, within Homeland Security. Did I get that right, Matt?
Great job.
Okay. Yes. We've had your agency in on the show before. We appreciate you returning to talk about this because this is such a very important discussion. I think, Dave, you really hit it on the head when you said, you don't worry about it. Although we have had reports of LDS ward houses and churches being vandalized and burglarized. But when it comes to our Jewish community and our friends in the Jewish community, they're dealing with bomb threats, evacuations. So talk to us about what CISA recommends in terms of infrastructure security and bomb threats. What's the plan to help protect houses of worship and specifically Jewish synagogues?
Well, Debbie, you hit on something that's really a key foundational element, and that's planning, all right? That's advanced preparation. There's a balance that places of worship want to strike between making them safe and secure, but also, remain welcoming, right? And so planning for possibilities is where we start.
What does that step look like? How do I plan it? And what would you recommend? And is this just specifically for the Jewish community, or does this apply to everybody?
It's for all faith-based organizations and for all places of worship and the sites that are associated. Some of these sites have schools attached, community centers.
Yeah.
Okay, and these are mass gathering venues where people gather. And think about this as we roll into holiday season. There's, services and other events that bring people into these spaces. So when we start talking about planning, it begins with, and every site is unique, pull together a multidisciplinary team that looks at the site through their unique lens and then assess the risk that site is facing. What is the threat? And, specifically we're talking about shootings, bombings, even vehicle rammings, that can be certainly violent and maybe even lethal. So that's the first step. And then assess your risk. What are the threats that I just mentioned facing your site?
Matt, I worry about this from this perspective. I'm Catholic. My kids attended Catholic school, as you described perfectly. The school is attached to the church. There were a lot of events, a lot of school activities, and a lot of parent volunteers who would have absolutely no idea how to secure the church, how to secure the school. I mean, that is kind of over everybody's volunteer pay grade. So how do you pull together this team? And also, you don't want to go overboard because you don't want to, lock gates and keep people out, because it is a place of worship. It should be peaceful.
So the first thing I'll say for everyone listening is, if you're interested in a topic that's related to security, safety, and resilience, just search in the internet, search for CISA, C-I-S-A, and then those search words. Our search engine optimization works great, and you're going to find whatever it is you're looking for. We have a huge catalog,
of things
resources to help people that
step by
don't
step.
have that background, like a Marine who's got that specialized training, to defend. The second piece is, that's our job, as field advisors. It starts with, just have us come to your site and let's sit down and talk about what you're concerned with. Let's walk around your site. Let's discuss what you think your needs are. Let's start to peel back the layers and get into the details.
You'll do that for free?
Absolutely. It's your taxpayer dollars at work.
That's incredible. I don't think a lot of folks know that. And there's a lot of smaller churches who just couldn't afford to do, big things with security. So it's free. You can give them an analysis on what to do.
Absolutely. And we're very keen to assist across the board, but recognizing, as you just said, that there are some sites that just are resource strapped.
Yeah.
All of our resources are no cost, available to anyone that can take advantage of them.
Are you working right now as a federal organization with members of our Jewish community?
It's a core mission of ours, all right, to protect all locations that are mass gatherings. So think of schools, places of worship, and especially as we go into the holidays. And we've seen these acts of violence perpetrated in all these places, and even parades, and those sorts of things across the country. They're unpredictable. They're fast-paced. So let's start talking about it now. And this is something we're very focused on as well, is how do we instill this as the new cultural norm? How do we get these things into our societal lexicon and start making that a normal thing that we can start focusing on from here out?
Is there anything specifically about these places of worship that make them any more or specifically vulnerable than any other place?
Well, as I said at the outset, there's that balance to be struck between making it safe and secure, but also being open and welcoming. And, we have many, many things that we can help with in terms of awareness, teaching lay staff, ushers, greeters, even parishioners on what to look for possible threat indicators, and then the steps to take to report it, take action, and even as much as getting out of the building rapidly. Those are all things we talk about when we sit down.
I know the last time there was a bomb threat, or last bomb threat we knew about at Colami here in Salt Lake City, they had to evacuate. And that bomb threat came in over an anonymous email. I'm sure eventually somebody would be able to, a law enforcement agency would be able to track down who sent that email. But at the time, they didn't know they had to evacuate. Is that happening more and more across the country, Matt? And I suppose it's like, if you get a bomb threat, just get out, get people out.
The occurrence of these threats is persistent, and it is escalating. And some of these communities that are feeling the residue of these geopolitical tensions, especially between Israel and Hamas and those populations, it translates across the world, and Utah is not immune.
Matt Beaudry, thank you for joining us. The Protective Security Advisor for CISA. That's federal government with a part of Homeland Security that deals with cybersecurity, infrastructure. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Matt. I know you guys have a free webinar coming up so people can get more information. How about if we do this? There's so much information on your website, so helpful. It's totally free. Tons of how-to guides and helping people protect infrastructure, making sure cyber security is in place. We'll package this all up, put a bow tie around it, and stick it right where people need to be able to find it at kslnewsradio.com. Thanks for joining us.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Hi, it's Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
Why should you start your day with us?
We have decades of news experience between us.
And we take your trust seriously.
Come here for news tomorrow, 5 to 9.
On KSL.
Hey, folks, if you're wondering and you're struggling with how can I improve my health, how can I eat more healthily, I've got a place for you. Fed Up Kitchen.
FedUpKitchen.com. You need to head to that website right away and get your New Year's resolution started now. You're going to eat healthier. The meals are going to be prepped for you. You don't have to go to the grocery store and spend time in the kitchen. All you do is stop by and pick up the prepped meals. They're delicious. They're healthy. Things like chicken corn chowder. You take it home, you put it in the fridge, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and there's a way you can either supplement your food or you can totally replace. They'll do breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacks. You can just fully rely on them to feed you, or you can just say, hey, I need you to take care of my dinners or my lunches. Instead of going out to eat every day at lunch, maybe they can provide that for you. It's very easy. You order it up the day before. You can order it farther in advance than that, but you order up the day before, you pick it up, and you're good.
They got locations for you to pick up your meals in Lehigh and Kaysville and Draper and Daybreak, American Fork, Cottonwood Heights, on and on and on. So right away, do it now. FedUpKitchen.com.
Hey, Derek Overstreet here from the New Millennium Group, financial advisors in Utah. I've been helping people retire in the state of Utah for the last 20 years. The way we do that is we actually find out what is important to you. We create a step-by-step plan that takes into consideration your income, your debt, whether you want money from real estate, stock market, annuities, life insurance, whatever. If you want to deal with professionals, people that are fiduciaries and have a legal responsibility and obligation to do what's in your best interest, give my team a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. Or go to my website, utahsfinancialplanner.com. If you'd like to retire 3 to 5 years before you thought it was possible, give my team a call right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370.
All of us are noticing those temperatures going down, and it's time to get into NPS, the nice place to save on virtually everything. Remember, it's 30 to 70% savings each and every day. But right now, my friends at NPS said, we really need to mention our winter coats. 25% off the winter coats. And remember, that's on top of the 30 to 70% discounts that are already in effect. So get ready to save like crazy at any of the NPS stores. New products are added daily at each location. There are 2 stores in Salt Lake, just off Redwood Road at 1600 South on Empire. And of course, there's Orem and Layton too. They have unadvertised specials each and every day. Grocery shopping is a joy, and the produce is amazing at NPS. This is a time too to get a jump on the holidays, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. What you're looking for is waiting at NPS.
Imagine how inconvenient your life would be without power. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, and no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have the power when you need it most. Generac generators automatically provide backup after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Schedule a free quote today with Genco Generators, your premier Generac service dealer in Utah. Call 801-295-0872 or online at gencogenerators.net.
Tonight at 10 on KSL, pregnant while pregnant? How did this even happen? When a Utah family turned to science to grow their family, the results came with a surprise.
It was very confusing to us.
And a mystery to unravel.
She had been a genetic counselor for 25 years, never had this happen.
News specialist Ashley Moser has their unexpected story.
I don't even know what to tell people.
Getting pregnant while pregnant. Tonight on KSL 5 News at 10.
Winter's coming. Is it time to think about replacing your old furnace and air conditioner? Would a $1,200 instant discount on a new day and night home comfort system help?
Don't put it off. Have a new day and night furnace and air conditioner installed and get an up to $1,200 instant discount with a 12-year day and night no-hassle warranty on qualifying systems. You'll be warm all winter and save on your energy bills. Click online to dayandnightcomfort.com for a nearby elite day and night home comfort expert. The difference is day and night.
For the right repair and the right paint, the right choice is manufacturer-certified Martins Collision Repair. Hi, I'm Tiago Martins. Many shops have ASC and ICAR-certified technicians, but few have certifications by General Motors, Nissan, Chrysler, Hyundai, Jeep, and many others, making Martins your right choice. Online at martinscollision.com, on State Street in Orem and in Salem, we work with all insurance companies.
The right repair, the right paint, the right choice. Martins Collision Repair.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Tim Hughes. First, dozens of students, parents, and teachers from Pleasant Grove High School are protesting a decision made by the state's High School Sports Association. The group suspended a rival school's coach for putting an ineligible player on the field in a knockout win, but the protesters say that punishment is too light. Second, a 16-year-old boy is in police custody after they say he shot another driver on the Antelope Island Causeway. And third, the actors' strike that has paralyzed Hollywood for months is over. The SAG-AFTRA union agreed to deal with the studios. Right now in Salt Lake City, we're holding on to 38 degrees, only going to reach 49 for a high later. Let's get you back to David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
David Dujanovic. Special coverage of the top local story.
You just heard Tim talk about this during his newscast moments ago. There's this controversy going on right now at the height of the high school football playoffs. Am I getting that right, Dave? Are we in the high school football playoffs right now? My kids aren't in high school anymore. I don't follow it as closely as I used to. But, wow, this controversy really caught my attention. As the mom of high school baseball and softball players, I was like, I would be upset too. This involves a now suspended coach, an ineligible player, and a group of, sounds like, angry parents. And Dave, you spent so much of your career covering sports and local sports. I thought it would be very helpful to have you walk us through this.
And I've also been a high school coach.
That's true.
I haven't been a head coach, but being an assistant coach, you see what goes on. You understand kids, transfers. There's rules and stuff that happen. But let's get the breakdown from KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Many parents at Pleasant Grove High School think the Skyridge head football coach got off way too easy for using the player when they beat Pleasant Grove in the state quarterfinals. Utah High School Activities Association recommended the suspension for the rest of the playoffs, but Pleasant Grove wanted Skyridge to forfeit the win since other teams, like the 2019 Lone Peak High team, had to forfeit their entire season for the exact same offense. However, after hearing arguments from both sides, the UHSAA stuck with the 2-game suspension. Skyridge will also have to pay $3,000 and be on probation for the next year. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
So essentially, the punishment is the coach. The coach is being suspended. The team is not having to vacate wins. And the reason vacating wins right now would be so important is because they're in the playoffs. So you'd automatically be out of the playoffs. The team that probably lost the week before would move up so that you can see the problems that are going on right now.
Okay, so I have 3 questions that I want to bounce off of you. The first is disparity. I tend to side with parents when it comes to disparity because I was a parent, and it's like you want the referees and the umps to call things equally when your kids are on the field, right? And your kids want that too. Well, when it comes to the high school, athletic association, I mean, I know that's a longer name than that, but it does seem like there's a disparate punishment here. So why is it not standard operating procedure in your view, Dave, and your experience that every high school caught using an ineligible player gets the same punishment?
Well, there's a couple of things going on. Number one, you have to remember, and I'll use football as an example, there are 80 kids on that football team. There is a lot of players, right? So it does matter, I think, if this ineligible player is the star quarterback or the kid that just runs up and down the field on kickoff returns, right? Do you want to ruin the season for the entire team because of a token player? Well, maybe it would feel differently if it was the game-changing player, the best player on the team. They will not give us the information in these stories. So as you're reading about it and you're asking yourself, well,
we don't
who
know
was
for
the
school
kid
or the activities association who it was, what their position was.
They know. Of course they know.
They do, but
what
we
they
don't.
don't do is they don't release it to the
So
public.
what you're saying is that could be why there's different punishments depending on what the circumstances were.
Yeah,
right?
should you punish the entire team because of a player that plays a minor role?
Maybe that player's a bench warmer.
Yeah,
No
and this
offense.
player may be the star
We don't
running
know.
back
But
or
we
wide
don't
receiver.
know.
We just
we
don't
know how
No.
the details. So that leads me to my next question. What makes a player ineligible?
Well, there's so many things that could make a player ineligible. First of all, if, for example, I live in Davis High School boundaries, but I want to go basically anywhere in the state, I can do that. I can just enroll in that school and play in whatever school I want, even if I don't live in the boundaries. It's open enrollment. Once I go to Davis High School and then I want to transfer, that's where it gets a little sticky.
Go to Davis High School and play a sport.
It doesn't even necessarily matter that you play a sport. It plays. There's a lot of different rules. It can play a role.
Let's say you play football at Davis High,
Yeah.
but you want to transfer to Bingham High School
Yeah.
in the
For
South
baseball.
Jordan area.
Yeah.
Are there some
Lots
things-
of rules.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can't just say, "Hey,
You have to get a waiver. You have to justify it. You have to apply. It has to be
I see.
accepted. One thing that is fairly common is kids will say, I'm being bullied at my school, and I don't feel safe in that school any longer. I want to go somewhere else. Now, sometimes that's completely and totally legitimate. Sometimes it's being abused. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, I'm going to transfer to a school, not the next closest school, but a school that is 50 miles away.
suspiciously far away." Because
That
they-
happens to be the best football team in the state. And, hey, I happen to be one of the best football players in the state.
So the question then becomes, did the coach reach out and ask that player, which they're not allowed to do, right?
No,
Okay,
can't recruit.
So explain that.
Yeah,
That's my next question.
A kid can work behind the scenes and make that decision and go through the entire process. The coach can't be involved. So the coach is kind of removed with that entire process. But once they do transfer into the school, the coach does have to understand and has to know and follow whether or not this kid is eligible. And they may just be eligible to practice. They may just be eligible to play junior varsity. Maybe they're fully eligible. It's pretty complicated.
There's a lot of boxes to check.
There's a lot of boxes to check, both on the district side, the child side, and the head coach side. So when I hear a player is ineligible, it's not like there's this huge flashing light that says, this kid is ineligible. Sometimes it is, maybe. But it's a pretty complicated, there's a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross.
So, Dave, thank you so much for breaking that down for us. As we've been reporting all morning long, a lot of parents at Pleasant Grove High School think the Skyridge head coach got off way too easy for using what's been referred to as an ineligible player when they beat PG at the state quarterfinals. You think we've heard the end of this, Dave?
Yeah, probably.
You think so?
I'm going to be honest. We have 2 weeks left. It's the championship. It's probably too late.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
Listen at home on any smart speaker.
And in your car at 102.7 FM.
This is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Britt Johnson.
Today, we've got a very special show. My sister Barbara joins the fun as my guest co-host. Plus, you'll meet the loving Texas family who opened their home and their heart to two brothers. And we catch up with sisters and WNBA stars Nneka and Shanae Agumake. From Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza, it's Today with Hoda.
We have enough people running around Broadcast House at 4 in the morning to field a football team.
Producers, reporters, the traffic team, and us.
This is Tim and Amanda.
Join us each morning from 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Hey, BYU football fans, come see KSL's own Midge Harper this Friday, November 10th at Macy's Grocery Store in Spanish Fork, 187 East, 1000 North from 4 to 7 p.m. for fun, prizes, and chances to win tickets to the BYU Iowa State football game or a $50 Macy's gift card. You'll have multiple chances to win every hour. And during the broadcast, be sure to visit the Macy's Meat Department and pick up some of their easy meals. They're all cut, seasoned, and prepared just for you. Put them on the grill or in the oven and you'll have dinner in a snap. Those meals are perfect for dinner or any tailgate party. So celebrate the football season and join KSL's own Mitch Harper this Friday, November 10th at Macy's Tailgate in Spanish Fork from 4 to 7 p.m. Food, activities for the family, and enter to win tickets to the BYU Iowa State football game or a $50 Macy's gift card. Macy's. Happy shopping.
It's 10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Britt Johnson. KSL's top story this hour. A fight over campaign signs in Orem has put a spotlight on a gray area in Utah law. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has more.
It all began on Halloween when the Orem Police Department got a complaint that a member of the city's planning commission was taking down someone else's political campaign signs at a local business. The Daily Herald reports that Helena Kleinline says she got a written permission from an employee at that business to take down placards belonging to a city council candidate, and that the candidate didn't have permission to put that sign up in the first place. It was later found that the employee didn't have the authority to give her the go-ahead. Orem City's assistant attorney tells the Herald it's usually property owners and not business owners who get the final say over whether a campaign sign comes down here in Utah. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
BYU is starting their backup quarterback again this week against Iowa State. Jake Retzlaff will be the signal caller for the Cougars for the second week in a row, hoping for a better outcome than the beatdown they got in West Virginia last week. BYU still needs one win for bowl eligibility. Our pregame coverage Saturday starts at 6 with kickoff coming at 8:15 right here on KSL News Radio. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. A new weight loss drug is now in the mix and is expected to hit the shelves soon. It's called Zepbound, and it has the same active ingredients as Mounjaro, which is used to treat diabetes. Some recent studies suggest that it could lead to more weight loss than similar drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic.
It is for people who are overweight with at least one associated obesity comorbid medical condition. It is not for people who want to lose, a couple of pounds.
The FDA cleared Zepbound for specific types of patients. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Jennifer Ashton is reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow is in the red 7 points, but the S&P is up 4 and the NASDAQ is up 30. Coming up, it might get a little bit warmer. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:03.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Utah Symphony's Film and Concert Series delivers full-feature films on the big screen as the orchestra plays the soundtrack live. Tickets on sale now at utahsymphony.org.
As the weather turns colder, this is when you need to get those new windows. So call Advanced Window Products. They'll replace your single-pane, rickety old windows with stylish, state-of-the-art double-pane windows with precision frames. You pick the style and color. They're custom-made right here in Salt Lake City. This company is so Utah. It's run by two guys who grew up here, Jake Weber and Utes defensive star Nate Orchard, the mayor of Sacktown with 7 NFL seasons under his belt. Great guys, great company, building high-quality windows for 37 years. Unlike other companies, they build the windows, they install the windows, and they guarantee them for life. No middleman. There's Jake, Nate, and their team, and there's you. Saving on the highest quality windows. Right now, before winter, get $2,000 off 10 windows or more, and they offer 60 months, 0% financing. So call Advanced Window Products now. You could have stylish new windows in 8 weeks. 801-850-9100. 801-850-9100 or visit AdvancedWindowsUSA.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Eric Butler.
Thank you, Britt. Len Thomas here for Eric. We got a stalled vehicle eastbound I-80 at the East Canyon exit, still blocking the far right lane. It's been there for a while. No slowing, though, on the main flow of I-15 along the Wasatch Front metro area, except for that southbound slowing and the construction Legacy Parkway coming off of I-15. Just really not that long of a stretch, Farmington into Centerville. Len Thomas in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, partly sunny skies today and a high of 49 degrees, and we'll feel a slight warm up as we move into the weekend, getting to the high 50s by Sunday, and we'll see sun for the next several days. Right now, it's 41 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake. I'm Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio. Right on the money. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
This option for health insurance, I think it's going to has the potential to turn the healthcare industry on its ear, giving families a better shot at extremely affordable health care. Look, this is less than the price of a hamburger at Five Guys. Like one burger at Five Guys probably cost you $10. Now you can get primary care for $9 a month through Amazon.
It sounds like a scam. I mean, there's no way. There is no way this is a real story, right?
It is. It's all over. It's all over the internet. It's all over. I Googled it. I found it.
It really surprises me. Yeah. I mean, Debbie, think of how much money.
Because it's too good to be true.
It feels too good to be true. Now, as we've looked into it, it is legitimate. There's a few caveats and catches and add-ons. But that being said, ask yourself right now, how much are you paying for health insurance? What's your monthly premium, folks? And it's probably hundreds of dollars. Hundreds and hundreds every single month. I know some people are well over $1,000 in health insurance premiums. So when we come to you and say, hey, have you heard about the $10 a month Amazon plan? It sounds way too good.
$99 a year.
Way too good to be true.
$99 a year, something like that. I think, and correct me if I am wrong on this, because I've done a lot of research on it and I may have misinterpreted. I think this is, if you're an Amazon Prime member, then you can tack on what's called this one medical pass.
Okay.
For $9 a month. And I just canceled my Amazon Prime because I was sick and tired.
Your annual.
Okay. Yes. First of all, I wasn't watching any of their shows anymore. And second, I was spending way too much money on junk I didn't really need. So I just deleted the app. I got rid of my membership. But anyway, now I'm like, oh, well, that too soon, Deb, too soon. And I'm going to tell you why, because we do have insurance through our company.
Yes.
And we have very, very good insurance through our company.
Yes.
And I've had this since the year 2000 when I walked through the door here to become a reporter at KSL 5 TV. And I've always appreciated that we have pretty low premiums.
Yeah.
You know, they get doggone low premiums. But here's where I'm thinking of using Amazon Prime's option for $9 a month as a supplement to our own insurance. So hear me out. So let me first talk about what this one medical pass gets you. Unlimited access 24/7 to on-demand virtual care. I just ripped
That's
this
the key.
right off the website.
Virtual care.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual care. So this is tapping in to your phone technology. You get in touch with a doctor, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Have you ever done the virtual care?
Yeah, my daughter does it quite frequently. She's much more comfortable with it than I am. Yeah. Like, no, I want to wait 6 months for an appointment. I want to go sit in a sitting area with 200 other people who are ill, and then I want to wait to see the doctor. Well, she just gets right in that day.
Yeah.
She doesn't use this one, but she's used others. 24/7 on-demand virtual care, video chats with licensed providers. They say there's an in-app Treat Me Now feature, so you can kind of get to the front of the line if you're really ailing. And here's some of the things that they'll treat. Colds, I'm like, well, a common cold, that's not going to do me any good. I'm just going to ride that one out. But, fevers, middle of the night fevers. How many times in the middle of the night my kiddo got a fever? And I was just like, well, do we take him to the ER? If you could just click on the app, get them in front of a doctor or a medical provider real quick. Maybe they could solve it for you and get you a prescription if you need it. Skin problems, the flu, allergies, urinary tract infection. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Those are always inconvenient. And they usually happen when I'm on vacation, somewhere else other than down the street from my OBGYN office. UTIs are the ones where you literally want to go knock down the doctor's door in the middle of the night and be
whatever
like,
it costs. Whatever it costs.
Before this gets to my kidneys. $9 a month. So here's where I'm thinking about this, Dave. This is where it's got me kind of looking at it again. I just had COVID. You knew that.
Yeah.
Okay. I went home, laid down, got up 10 days later. The day after I took the test and I showed you got COVID line came up positive, I started making phone calls to my doctor's offices and pharmacies because I was like, I'm going to get on the antiviral. I'm not going to ride this thing out again for 10 days. Did that once, not fun. Lost my taste, lost my smell, had fatigue for several weeks after. Don't want to do that again. So I'm going to pop that antiviral in me. Could not get an appointment. Could not get a prescription for that. So I rode out this doggone thing again. It wasn't as bad as the last time, but I'm like, for $9 a month, when I have those, oh my goodness moments, I don't want to go to the doctor office because I'm super sick. I don't have the capacity to drive myself there. I don't have anybody available to drive myself there, and I'm not going to get in the back of an Uber because that's super rude. I would want to pop on that app and get that virtual care for $9 a month. And here's another thing. What about for kids who are like our kids who are under 30, who are pretty healthy. Would that be an option for them too?
Yeah, there's so many things to this, Deb. I'm trying to think of which one to tackle. Number
We've got
one,
time. We're going to talk about it in the next segment too.
Number one, I'm sorry you went through that. Our insurance actually has the exact same kind of virtual care as they're offering right now. So you could have gotten some help.
I didn't know that.
A lot of companies do. It's not well advertised.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, we do. But what I see is my kids are on my health insurance until they're 26. Them's the rules there. Once they're 26, then what do? If they don't work for a company that offers health insurance, they've got to go get Obamacare. They've got to try to figure out, and they're paying hundreds of dollars a month to do so. Most of the time when you're young and healthy, all you need is a virtual care is totally fine. You got an ear infection, you got an eye infection, they can treat that very easily. It'll cost you $10 a month. That's a great alternative. The problem with this program is what happens if something big happens. You know, if you have cancer, if you get in a car wreck, if you break an arm, a leg, or something.
You got to have a more catastrophic policy.
Yes, exactly.
You got to have that as your primary policy, and this is a supplement.
Yeah, so this would be good for probably 99% of your health problems, but you would definitely want a catastrophic policy as well in case something big happened.
So even for your healthy kids.
Yeah. But here's the benefit, and this is where I think it is fantastic, is you could use this as your quote-unquote primary care. This will take care of most of your problems. A catastrophic health insurance policy is much cheaper, much cheaper than a comprehensive health insurance plan. So I look at it and I think this could be an absolute disruptor.
I see what
to
you're
the health
saying.
insurance game.
So if you wanted to go get a catastrophic, you need emergency surgery because you were just in a car wreck, or God forbid, you're diagnosed with some horrible disease.
Yeah.
You can get a catastrophic policy just for that.
Super high deductible,
cheap.
Low premiums,
cheap. And then supplement it with an Amazon One Medical Pass.
Yeah, for all your
for
sniffles and
$9 a
flu.
month.
It'll cost you $10 a month.
And you can use it anywhere in the nation. You don't have to worry about whether an out-of-state doctor is going to provide, you're going to be dinged for that financially because you went out of state. Love it. I love your concept. Do you think it's a game changer?
Oh, I think it's an absolute game changer. We want to take your phone calls. Would you be willing to drop your current health insurance, the hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month that you're making, maybe take up this new Amazon plan? It sounds wild. I know it sounds wild. And then maybe get one of those catastrophic insurance plans, high deductible, catastrophic plans. Would you be willing to make a massive change? 801-575-TALK, 801-575-TALK. Or is this just too out there for you? 801-575-TALK.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Before Dave and Debbie get started each day, this station is all news all morning.
And later today, we follow up on those stories as you drive home.
Get important news all morning and all afternoon.
Here on KSL News Radio.
After a tough loss in West Virginia.
I got to start seeing better fundamentals and better technique on our football team, and that's in all three phases.
BYU needs a win for bowl eligibility.
BYU still has 3 more shots. These players have work to do, and you got to shake off these stats.
Saturday, our Cougars return to the familiar mountains of home. BYU, Iowa State. Extended pregame coverage from Provo starts at 6 with kickoff at 8:15 on your legacy home for Cougar sports. KSL News Radio.
Okay, I think we've all had the experience where kids are the worst. My son several years ago told me in the morning, Dad, my ceiling is leaking water onto my bed. I'm like, okay, well, how long's that been going on? He's like, I don't know. I noticed it last night, and this was the morning. For 6 hours, he had water dripping on him before he, woke me up. Well, what I had found out is that there was a hard water buildup that had damaged a pipe in my dishwasher, and it had created this leak, and it flooded my kitchen. It had gone down into the basement, rained on my son all night. And at that point, I realized, you know what, I got to call Connecticut of Utah, have them come out to my house and show me all the ways that hard water just ruins my life. And I was absolutely convinced. They came out, they showed me the difference that soft water would make with their Connecticut water softener, an incredibly well-designed water softener that works 24/7, extremely efficient. It only uses a third of the salt of most water softeners. So, and they have a 10-year warranty. So they absolutely believe in their product. All you have to do is give them a call. Connecticut of Utah, 801-576-8600. That's 801-576-8600. Or check them out online at softwaterutah.com.
This is the lunch rush at your local deli. Orders are flying in. Online, on the phone, and in person.
Order for Nick.
So is it possible that fast internet could help your business outrun the rush? It is with Comcast Business. Up-leveling your speed with gig speed Wi-Fi, powering all your devices, and fast downloads and uploads, powered by the next generation 10G network. With Comcast Business, next level speed isn't just possible, it's happening. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying internet bundle. Call or go online to learn more. Ends 11/12/2023. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments. New 50 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig internet and compatible router.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors to tell you about our 10-year everything guarantee. Most contractors spout off having great warranties that last forever. But those warranties are always, and I do mean always, riddled with loopholes, exception, fine print, and nonsense. At RGS Exteriors, we cover everything. Parts, labor, material, everything and anything for 10 full years. There's no cost to you whatsoever. No hoops to jump through, no exceptions. Yes, the products we sell, like James Hardy Siding, our windows, gutter covers, come with a 25 to 50-year manufacturer's warranty, just like everybody else. But the truth is, the products almost never fail. It's always the labor and material which is never covered, so you're stuck paying for service calls. For peace of mind, call RGS Exteriors. You'll sleep easy for 10 full years. 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's 801-280-3110 or online rgsutah.com. Gutters, siding, windows, and all exteriors with the 10-year everything guarantee.
Arrive in style in a great fitting suit from Mr. Mac. They ensure a perfect fit, offering fast, free alterations by expert tailors at all 9 Mr. Mac stores. Arrive in style, Mr. Mac.
Hello, car donation hotline.
Hi, I'd like to donate a car to the Utah Kidney Foundation. Are you in Utah?
Awesome. Let's get some info and we'll send you a tow truck.
But I want my car donation to benefit my neighbor in Farmington who needs a transplant. Are you in Utah?
That's a no. I'm in SoCal, but you're still donating to charity.
What charity?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, I want my donation to stay in Utah.
Righteous dude. You need to call tow cars in Utah. Locals only, am I right?
Oh, yeah. I remember tow cars with a K like kidney. It's on a billboard somewhere. TOWKARS.org. That's it. Towcars.org.
If you'd like your vehicle donation to help Utah kidney patients in the Beehive State, please use the web address on their billboard, towcars.org, to donate your old car or truck. That's TOWK like kidney, ARS. Towcars.org.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Britt Johnson. First, a fight over campaign signs in Orem has put a spotlight on a gray area in Utah law. Second, BYU still needs 1 win for bowl eligibility. Our pregame coverage starts Saturday at 6 with kickoff coming in at 8:15 right here on KSL News Radio. Third, a new weight loss drug is now in the mix called Zepbound, and it's expected to hit the shelf soon. Right now, it's 41 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
We don't think that this would necessarily work for medical tests at all, like mammograms or colonoscopies, but Amazon Prime's $9 a month health insurance plan, it could work for you for a host of other things like urinary tract infection, middle of the night fever, eye infection.
Yeah, I heard a doctor joke one time where he said 95% of my patients are fixed with a 5-minute visit and one of 4 prescriptions. It's just we all get sick the same way. It's very consistent, and I think that's what Amazon is tapping into right now, is saying, you know what? A lot of the stuff that we do when we get sick can be taken care of on a virtual visit very simply.
Yeah. And for $9 a month. In fact, there's a supplement too. You could do their RX pass, their prescription pass for an additional $5 a month. And right now they're offering 5 generic brands of prescriptions, or 50 different prescriptions. Let's get to Mike. Mike, you told our producer, Caitlin, that you're an insurance broker and you wanted to weigh in. What do you think of this $9 a month Amazon plan?
So I think that's awesome. I think it definitely has a place. The problem with what Dave was saying is that you can go out and shop for a high deductible health plan and make it really affordable and drop your group health coverage. That's just not the case. Individual health plans, like some of my clients have $8,000 deductibles, and I dealt with one the other day, and he's paying $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
For his individual health plan. So it's in theory that works great, but in reality it doesn't
Are those
work.
for comprehensive plans, or are those catastrophic, just the worst of the worst?
So it's like, for instance, they have a $6,900 deductible, $9,400 out-of-pocket maximum, and they have $45 office visits, to see the primary care. $90 to see the specialist. That's a select health plan. It's a good plan, but that's expensive.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of
expensive.
my clients are telling me that their health plans are bumping up as much or more than their mortgages.
Oh, boy.
Mike, before we let you go, you said programs like what Amazon's doing for $9 a month for, virtual visits, it has its place. How does that work in your mind? Where does its place exist in our lives?
So where that exists is like if someone has a health savings account where, let's say they have an $8,000 deductible before anything is paid on the HSA.
Yeah.
That's awesome for a situation like that, where they can pick that up, they can see the doc, virtually like that. And there's a lot of prescription plans out there like Mark Cuban has a prescription plan. It's called, I think it's Cost for Less Drugs, but you can Google like Mark Cuban prescriptions.
Yeah, I've used them. It's great.
And,
it is a lot cheaper. I've used them for my glaucoma eye drops.
Yeah, and GoodRx too is an awesome place to shop for that kind of stuff also. So it's, it has its place, but like my son works for a company, he's paying like $300 a month for his health care. Because they're chipping in the rest.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing is when your company is backloading it or paying a huge portion of the premium, and you're just paying a small portion. It artificially tells you how much health insurance costs, because I think a lot of us that are working, we just don't realize our company is picking up so much of the tab.
Yeah, it's truly a benefit. When you say a benefit, it's truly a benefit. But you know what? I hope the legislators are listening to this conversation, or someone is, because health insurance rates, even with Obamacare kicking in on it, it's getting to a critical mass point in the market to where people aren't going to be able to afford health care anymore. And this is a major problem for our country. Some of the tax credits people are getting from Obamacare, $2,000 a month.
Wow.
I see them, and they're still paying, $500 or $600 a month for their health care premium. So it's a major problem in our country.
Yeah, great
that
point.
Has to be dealt with.
Well, we don't talk about it enough, but when you mentioned that your clients are their premiums are what, $1,500 a month, and then their deductibles, they have to reach a certain deductible before their insurance even kicks in. That's outrageous, Mike.
Well, I'll give you an idea. I don't qualify for any supplements, and just for my wife and I the coming year, we're probably looking at, about $1,500 a month for my wife and I, just two people, and I'm in my late 50s.
To be insured.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Mike, thank you for adding to this conversation.
Yeah, it's
we appreciate you. What a great phone call. And I think this really speaks to the importance. He talked about Mark Cuban's prescription site that kind of changes the way we look at prescriptions. It brings some more competition. I really like this plan because I think it brings in more competition. For far too long, we go in, for example, if I have a simple eye infection and I just need a couple drops, pink eye, whatever it might be, that's 5 minutes. A doctor sees it. He writes a prescription. Well, that's a $20 copay for me. But on the back end, my insurance is probably going to pick up another $100. It was $100, $150 by the time we're done for 5 minutes of looking at something that easily could be taken care of. This, I think, feels a crucial role. I think it will be a game changer. I think it will add competition, and I think overall it will bring down costs of healthcare.
Great information. I mean, if you think this is for you, I think Mike brought up that especially if you have an HSA plan, this Amazon Prime option is a great supplement for $9 a month. You can add on a family member for an additional $6 a month. And the website he mentioned to look at more cost-effective ways to get your prescriptions is costplusdrugs.com. GoodRx is another option. Amazon Prime now has their option of $5 a month, but I've used Cost Plus Drugs, and my eye drops were much, much cheaper. Straight ahead, Mounjaro, now been approved for weight loss. They were prescribing it for diabetes, but the FDA says if you're just wanting to use this for weight loss, you can. Dave and I know a lot about this because we took a deep dive into these new weight loss drugs very, very recently.
But certainly within a month or a few months, significant weight loss is seen by a lot of people.
More about it next.
It's 10:31 at KSL News Radio. I'm Britt Johnson. KSL's top story this hour. Breaking news on KSL News Radio. A sheriff's deputy who handles a canine is now facing charges accused of striking or assaulting his dog. The Davis County Attorney's Office says canine Rolf was struck during a training exercise in August. Rolf was checked out by Davis County Animal Care. His handler, Corporal Timothy Robinson, was placed on leave and has since been reassigned to other duties. The charge is a Class A misdemeanor. Utah's debt is the fourth largest in the nation, according to Wallet Hub. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has more on how to bring that down.
Zions Bank Region President Stephanie Sherrill says financial self-control is one of your strongest tools to avoid debt. Really ask yourself, do I really need this item? And if you do, plan it out and try not to pay for it with your credit card. Speaking of credit cards, pay more than just the monthly minimum, but if you are in debt, talk to your bank and tackle the small debts first. This will give you the confidence to take on the larger debts.
All of this is especially important as we head into the holiday season. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The White House says Israel has agreed to do daily 4-hour humanitarian pauses in its war against Hamas starting today. It comes after Biden spoke over the phone on Monday with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, pushing for a pause longer than 3 days during hostage negotiation. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says Israel will make the announcement today. Your money at this moment, a little bit of a mixed market. The Dow is in the red, 24 points. The S&P is down, but just almost a half a point. But the NASDAQ is in the green, up 2 points. Coming up, sunny skies for the weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:32.
Early mornings can be hard enough, just getting yourself going.
We try to make it a little easier with news and weather from comfortable, trusted anchors and reporters.
Join us on Utah's Morning News between 5 and 9
on KSL News Radio.
It's Congressman Blake Moore here. My team and I have been closely monitoring the tragic events happening in the Middle East. At the hands of Hamas, families have been torn apart, communities have been ruined, and innocent civilians have lost their lives. I have been using my role in Congress to stand up for Israel and the innocent civilians impacted by these terrible acts of terrorism. I joined my Utah House colleagues in signing a bipartisan resolution supporting Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas's brutal attacks. And I led a congressional letter to the Egyptian ambassador encouraging the establishment of safe zones in southern Gaza. I am also seeking to identify the intelligence failures that led to this tragedy. The United States has an opportunity to lead in this conflict and reaffirm our commitment to the Israeli people, religious liberty, and the eradication of terrorism. If anyone you know is in Israel and needs assistance, please call my Ogden office at 801-625-0107. That's 801-625-0107. We're here to help. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
At Common Spirit Holy Cross Hospitals, we're honored to carry the legacy of our namesake and to extend the legacy of care in our communities. We're part of 20 hospitals and 240 clinics across Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
With our roots in northern Utah, Common Spirit Holy Cross Hospitals have a legacy of caring to help every person be whole and healthy. We're part of 20 hospitals and 240 clinics across Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
Attention smart homeowners. You don't have to fall for flashy promises and companies that don't even prove their work. At Your Service Pros uses third-party verification software called MeasureQuick to ensure your new HVAC system is installed correctly. This ultimate game changer in the HVAC industry lets you, the homeowner, have proof of how your system was installed. At Your Service Pros utilizes our Bluetooth tools to upload all of your system's information into MeasureQuick. We rely on data-driven insights to properly commission, optimize, and fine-tune your HVAC system for peak performance, improving your family's comfort, lowering your utility bills, and extending the life of your HVAC system. With rebates and tax credits available totaling more than $7,500 on a dual fuel heating and cooling system, it is now more important than ever that your HVAC system be installed correctly. So call us today at 801-YOUR-PRO. That's 801-YOUR-PRO. Have the peace of mind of saving up to 50% on your new system and knowing it's installed correctly by calling 801-YOUR-PRO.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Len Thomas.
Thank you, Britt. Looking at a crash northbound I-15 at 600 South, right shoulder. No real delays in there. Another crash southbound Bangerter Highway at 4800 South. Well, it had the highway closed, but I don't believe it is now. There is some slow traffic making your way down there in that intersection, but in the cameras, I cannot see any closures. Looks like things are moving there. So if you can, use an alternative route. Otherwise, the stalled vehicle up on Immigration Canyon is gone. Don't miss the Rocky Mountain Gun Show this weekend at Mountain America Expo Center. Get 500 rounds of 9mm ammo for just $95. Len Thomas in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, clear skies today, and it'll stay pretty similar for the next several days. Plus, we get a small climb in temperatures of about 10 degrees by Sunday. Today's high, 49 degrees. Right now, it's 43 degrees and sunny. I'm Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic.
I got excited when I heard this story because Dave and I know a lot about Ozempic. We know a lot about Mounjaro because we recently aired a 1-hour documentary, a special report on these weight loss drugs. Well, they're diabetic drugs that are prescribed for diabetes, but now the FDA has approved Mounjaro for weight loss. It's called Zepbound.
Yeah, originally, and this is what is so fascinating about this is, as you said, this was for diabetics. These medicines, Ozempic, Mounjaro was strictly for diabetics. And what it did is it helped control blood sugar. With diabetics, the spikes and the valleys of diabetes is really what kind of wreaks havoc on them. This kind of evens things out by the way it processes food in your gut. It slows things down. The food kind of processes through your stomach and intestines a little bit more slowly, so the sugars get released in a more even way. So when they did this, they were seeing really great success for diabetics. But then as a side effect, it's kind of funny to call it a side effect, they realized, oh, all these diabetics are losing a lot of weight. Then they started investigating, okay, well, let's look at this same drug as strictly a weight loss drug.
Yeah, and they got it checked off by the FDA. We got word here late yesterday that the FDA had approved Zepbound. It includes the same active ingredient as what's in Mounjaro. Let's get with the ABC News medical contributor, Dr. Alok Patel, because apparently the results have been very promising.
People after 72 weeks at the right dose lost around 20% of their body weight. And it's important to know that these medications are prescribed alongside a low-calorie diet and physical activity. Now, I've already been online. I see in the comments of people saying, well, hey, why don't people just exercise and eat healthy? Why do they need these medications? This really underlies the true complexity of obesity and how it really is a chronic illness with large-scale public health implications.
Now, this isn't an overnight fix. As you heard him describe it, after 72 weeks, they could lose up to 20 pounds. So say you're 300 pounds, you lose 20%. That's a 60-pound weight loss. That's good. But that's over a year and a half. So very effective. Another thing that they have told us that we've learned, though, is you have to stay on this medicine. Otherwise, you'll gain the weight back, or you can.
And it might not be affordable. And I don't know for sure, but my understanding is that most insurance companies won't cover it. Maybe somebody is saying, "Oh no, my insurance will cover it because they consider obesity to contribute to other health issues." But if you're coming out of pocket for this particular drug, it's estimated to be about $1,000 a month. So I'm looking at that. If you're doing that for life, that's a lot of money. $250 a week. But if you're struggling to get the weight off and you're realizing this is contributing to an unhealthy situation, you got to get the weight off, or you're going to have other underlying problems pop up, then maybe that's worth it. You and I recently aired a documentary. I'll keep calling it that. It's more of a special report when we took an in-depth look at Ozempic and Mounjaro for diabetes and how it's impacting diabetics. And then, as you said, the side effect of weight loss. And we spoke to Dr. Christopher Jones. He's the medical director for the Intermountain Healthcare's diabetes program. And he did confirm what Dr. Alok Patel said us just a few moments ago as well.
But certainly within a month or a few months, significant weight loss is seen by a lot of people.
But this isn't just a magic pill that fixes everything. There's some pitfalls to it as well that Dr.
It is
Jones
one of the
explained.
criticisms of these drugs is that a lot of people are losing lean muscle, and that's not healthy. You will need to stay on these medicines for a long period of time to keep that weight off. And on this particular medicine, I've had a number of people say, you know what, doctor, I just forget to eat. When these medicines work so powerfully on the gut that it actually freezes it, or in other words, stops it from functioning appropriately, there can be significant side effects.
And we spoke to a man that said he had terrible stomach aches, a constant stomach ache. Sometimes it got really bad. But he was so concerned about his diabetes, he was kind of powering through it.
Yeah, he also seemed like he was lethargic.
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't have quite the same energy to go outside and do yard work that he once had being on this drug. So he was experiencing some, I might consider that a negative side effect, but the upside was it was controlling his diabetes, which is huge. It's great news. I did ask Dr. Jones, I just use myself as an example because I'm always trying to get that last 10 pounds off. I've fluctuated in weight, and I easily fluctuate in weight. Sometimes I'm up 20 pounds. Sometimes I'm down 30 pounds. And it's been going on ever since I had babies, ever since I gave birth to kids. Dr. Jones addressed this with me. I asked him, would I be a candidate if I just wanted to shave off 10, maybe 15 pounds?
If I were your doctor, I would say, I appreciate all the healthy behaviors that you're doing. They're wonderful. They improve your health in so many ways that it's hard to even list all the ways that they make you healthy. And getting off those last few pounds, while satisfying for you and helping you to be who you want to be physically, are not likely going to be increasing your health. And if I can say that firmly, knowing you, right, if you were my patient, if I can say that firmly, then I would say these medications are not appropriate for you to take off those last few pounds. Continuing to focus on good health and being healthy is the most appropriate. Let's continue with your diet and exercise and recognize and rejoice in the health that you have. That's what I would say.
Yep. So here's what I'm doing. I'm sticking with Zumba. I'm sticking with my long walks. I'm trying to eat more spinach and fewer French fries, although there was a fail last night. I did have to get the sweet potato fries from Astro Burger Dave at 8 o'clock last night. I was craving them. Look, there's so much information here that we would love for you to head over to kslpodcast.com and type in Dieting by Design. Also, our producer said we're going to make sure we're going to link this to social media pages as well. So you can check it out at Debbie Dujanovic Reports on Facebook. Can we post this on the KSL News Radio Facebook page as well? I think that would be super helpful. We have 250,000 followers there. And you can join us at KSL News Radio's Facebook page. Love to make you part of our KSL News Radio Facebook family. Speaking of families, the entire family of Kaysville is begging Trader Joe's to open up a store in Dave's hometown.
When we say Trader, you say Joe. Trader, Joe.
They brought out the cheer squad from Davis High, Dave. The crazy thing is, we don't even know if Trader Joe's wants to be in Kaysville.
Yeah, I'm seeing signs all over the place. I'm scratching my head a little bit right now. Why do we care so much about Trader Joe's? Let's talk to my mayor next.
Dave and Dujanovic. Hey, stay right here for more of Dave and Dujanovic.
And tomorrow morning, come back here for news, traffic updates, and reliable weather.
Join us to have a listen. Tim and Amanda.
Your morning companions for news. If you're thinking about losing weight and you've heard us talk about Soda weight loss, let us encourage you to give them a call today. Why not talk to them? You don't have to sign up. You don't have to sign up now. You don't have to sign up later.
Yeah.
But when you call them, you can at least find out, okay, this is what's involved. This is how it will work. And for me, I lost 34 pounds in less than 3 months, and that was 2 years ago. And my life is easier every single day because I lost that weight.
My daughter, of course, started about the same time you did. She lost 42 pounds on her weight loss journey, and she's now on the maintenance phase. She was a little hesitant in the beginning, wanted to find out more. And if you make that call, you can talk directly with a nutritionist who will map it all out for you. And we can tell you right now, the average male loses 3 to 5 pounds a week. The average female, 2 to 3 pounds. You're not going to have to count calories. You're not going to have to take any pills or appetite suppressants. It's a great way to keep the weight off. Go to sodaweightloss.com, spelled S-O-T-A. Think Tim and Amanda. It's state of the art.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing. Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Todd Frayton's heart.
He's begun his wellness journey. This is its sound on a treadmill, at a slight incline, on a stroll through the forest. And this is the heart of Maria Sanchez, his physician. What's it doing here? A lot, actually, because when we partner with you, we don't just offer a strategic plan and status updates. We put our hearts into it, beat for beat. We call it the power of we, Intermountain Health.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up or repair or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Tonight at 10 on KSL, pregnant while pregnant? How did this even happen? When a Utah family turned to science to grow their family, the results came with a surprise.
It was very confusing to us.
And a mystery to unravel.
She had been a genetic counselor for 25 years, never had this happen.
News specialist Ashley Moser has their unexpected story.
I don't even know what to tell people.
Getting pregnant while pregnant. Tonight on KSL 5 News at 10.
Join KSL on the movie show this Friday from 9 to noon at the Salt Lake NPS store at 1600 Empire Road. That's in Salt Lake City, npsstore.com.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Britt Johnson. First, a sheriff's deputy who handles canines is now facing charges accused of striking or assaulting his dog. Second, Utah's debt is the 4th largest in the nation, according to Wallet Hub. Third, the White House says Israel has agreed to do daily 4-hour humanitarian pauses in its war against Hamas starting today. Right now, it's 43 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Okay, I've got some great news. D2 is going to finally go to Fridays. Finally, Fridays. We're going to be on from 9 to 11 on Fridays to help you get you through your morning with lots of news, lots of talk, lots of analysis. And we're super excited to be expanding the show, upgrading the show to Fridays.
And if you're wondering, well, what about the movie show? Movie show's not going anywhere. You can listen to the movie show during lunch. So that'll be on from 11 to 1.
Yep. Super excited. So mark your calendar. It's going to happen after the first of the year. Okay. So we're going to be reminding of you this for quite some time. So for the next several weeks, we'll make sure you're marking your calendars. We're going to Fridays starting in January. Let's talk about this. What's going on in Dave's hometown of Kaysville.
When we say traitors, you say toast.
Okay. For the last several months, Kaysville, which if you don't know where Kaysville is, it's in Davis County. It's north of Salt Lake City. It's Dave's hometown. They've been on their hands and knees begging for Trader Joe's to open up a store in Kaysville. Like, look, I don't even know if Trader Joe's is looking to open a store in Davis County in Utah at all. I'd like to date Brad Pitt, but Brad Pitt doesn't know I exist. So look, Kaysville, I don't know if Trader Joe's even knows you exist. No offense, you're a great community, but
Offense taken, Deb.
You said this is overwhelming your town.
I'm just chuckling because I drive. There's a roundabout with a big sign that's like, I don't even remember what it says, but it's essentially like, Trader Joe's, please come here. So there's this campaign. We're supposed to reach out to Trader Joe's, ask them to come to Kaysville. It really would be a perfect location, if I'm being completely and totally
Do you even
honest.
know what Trader Joe's is?
Yeah, they have these maple leaf cookies that are unbelievable.
See, I've known about Trader Joe's almost my whole life because they're in Arizona, and we'd shop there all the time, and it's reasonably priced, kind of more like gourmet type foods. But I remember getting the garlic stuffed olives there when I was in college, and they're like $1.50 or $2 for a jar of them, and I'm still getting them today.
I thought they were super expensive. Isn't Trader
like
Joe's
they are.
way super expensive compared to everyone else?
No, I don't feel like they are. Now, look, I lived in Cottonwood Heights for 30 years, and I remember when they opened up the Trader Joe's there, and I was so glad they had a bigger parking lot than the Trader Joe's in Salt Lake City, because I'm like, I don't even know where y'all park in that parking lot. But we don't know if Trader Joe's is even eyeballing Utah for another location. There's the one in Cottonwood Heights. There's the one in Salt Lake City on 4th South. Usually this is so weird to me because usually, Dave, when we talk about stores wanting to open up a retail space in a city, people come out and protest against it. Like, we don't need more brick and mortar. We don't want you here. Look at all the traffic problems it's going to cause with turning in and out of this location. We got lots of other stores. No thanks. Go home. Stay away. But in this case, they're bringing out the cheer squad.
When we say traitors,
putting up signs all over the city.
We just launched a website, Deb.
Stop it.
TraderJoe'sCaysville.com.
Mayor, does Trader Joe's even know that you're in love with them?
I love this conversation. Yes, they do. They do. We got their attention with our May campaign. There were lots of location requests that went to their corporate office. And we just want to make sure that they know we're serious, extra serious, and that's why we're launching our second campaign.
Okay, what's the pitch to them? Why? Because, again, there's a lot of different places in Utah that would be attractive for a company as big as Trader Joe's. But what's your pitch to them? Why Kaysville?
Our pitch to them is just that Kaysville is centrally located. It's in the heart of Davis County. Another store, Red Balloon Toy Store, actually opened up in Kaysville near this location where we hope Trader Joe's will be. And they did it because they have a store in Logan and they have stores in Salt Lake. And they just said it's just perfectly centrally located between those two locations. So we feel like Kaysville is great. We actually have a property owner who is reserving their commercial space for Trader Joe's. The property has been vacant for over a year. And they're waiting for Trader Joe's to come and to negotiate that with them. And
goodness.
So we feel like Kaysville, is just a really fantastic spot because we have a demographic that supports it. We have Station Park, we have Layton, we have Syracuse that are, emerging cities around us. And so it's just a great spot for it.
Look, I've been saying all morning long, I'd love to date Brad Pitt too, but Brad Pitt doesn't pay an ounce of attention to me and never really will. So what happens if Trader Joe's ultimately stands you up?
If they do, that's okay. No hard feelings there, of course. We just want to make sure that we're leaving no doubt that we are a great location and that we do want them within our community. I think I heard you mention that, oftentimes cities don't want businesses to come to their city. And that's very true. We would love to have Trader Joe's. And it's not just me that wants Trader Joe's. We put it out there and said, hey, community, if you want a Trader Joe's, enter your location requests. And we've heard from our community. And Trader Joe's is hearing from our community. I don't have an exact number in terms of how many location requests reached their corporate offices in May, but we do know that we had over 100,000 hits to our website.
Wow.
So say maybe we got 25% and they actually put it in a location, maybe a single entry, and that would be 25,000. That would be great. But I do believe that people put multiple locations in and their family members all did it and they've shared it. And so I'm pretty sure that they know that we're here and that we want them.
Is there a plan B? Is there someone that you want to cheat on with Trader Joe's? Is there another company out there if this falls through?
I'm sure that the property owner will reach out to multiple future potential tenants. The reason that we're doing this campaign is just that Trader Joe's, as you know, has a unique business model where they want to be wanted. Where, I don't know if another grocery store would say, hey, or another retailer would say, hey, we want to know you want us, so, send in your request. I haven't heard of that with other businesses, so that's why we're doing that here.
Kaysville Mayor Tammy Tran on the line with us live right now as we talk about Kaysville's dire need to bring Trader Joe's to K-Town and open up a new store there. They have got a couple stores in Utah already. Nothing really up north, though. So when will you find out? I mean, at what point will you just give up?
Give up?
Yeah. Is there okay, by March of 2025, if they have it March of 2030, May of 2035, when does this dream end?
Well, I think the dream would probably end for us when they choose a different location in Davis County. We don't believe that will happen. We have 558 commercial businesses in Kaysville that we would like the world to know about. And so our push for bringing in another business is really because it brings traffic into our community. It brings sales in, it brings visitors, it brings people shopping and eating. And so it exposes our community as is, we want everyone to know how great it is. And so we are not going to launch a third campaign. This will be our second and final campaign, but we're going to give it all we've got. and then we'll wait and see. I don't know in terms of the time frame. Their corporate ways are a mystery, and they keep them pretty closely guarded in terms of their plans until they actually announce.
Is this costing much?
This is not costing much. So no, it's community development, a couple banners that the city has put up. That's it. There was a contest in March, but the property owner actually provided the money for that contest prize. So,
my goodness.
Nope.
Tell us when the parade is. Let us know when the free concert for Trader Joe's is happening, when you're going to wrap City Hall with please come to Kaysville, Trader Joe's. Mayor Tammy Tran, thanks for having fun with us this morning here on KSL News Radio. And best of luck. And honestly, we want to be the first to know when you get the first date with Trader Joe's.
We're going to bring
when you get
cameras.
Married. Yeah, we want to be there for the ceremony.
Do you have a favorite Trader Joe's item? I told you about my maple leaf cookies that are amazing.
Well, can I just... They don't have the $2 chuck here.
What's
because
the $2 chuck? What in the world is that? Just making stuff up.
We're not going to tell.
You know what they got? They got the $2 chuck.
It's $3.
Sitting right alongside the crunchy
chuck
chili cranberry orange and onion.
It's their wine.
Oh.
I was just going to let you go on and on and on. I do. I love the garlic stuffed olives. I can't stay away from them. I love them so much. I have a jar in my fridge right now.
How about the non-dairy vanilla bean oat frozen dessert?
Oh, I also love their gnocchi. Did I say that right? Their frozen gnocchi is so good. Go get the cauliflower. Go get the cauliflower one.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
Listen at home on any smart speaker.
And in your car at 102.7 FM.
This is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Britt Johnson. KSL's top story this hour. Police have taken a 16-year-old boy into custody following a road rage called into dispatch on the Antelope Island Causeway yesterday. Many people were stuck on Antelope Island for hours, and some, like Royce Bear, were never able to go into the park. He says he drove all the way from West Jordan only to get turned away at the police roadblock.
I mean, this is supposed to be a very peaceful place where people come to relax. Instead, we have road rage.
Police got the 50-year-old man who was shot on an AirMed helicopter in just minutes, and they say they found the suspected shooter hiding in the brush off the causeway. Both the park and the causeway are open again today. Utah voters have glowing things to say about their neighborhood schools in a new survey. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnson has more.
A new poll from the Desert News and Hinckley Institute of Politics found that 84% of Utah voters were at least somewhat satisfied with their current neighborhood schools. Over half of these respondents say they're extremely satisfied, while only 13% of all the respondents say they're not. Utah Education Association President Renee Pinkney says this fits what the UEA already knows, that parents are happy with public schools, both as centers for learning and community. But it's not just about public schools, as pollsters also asked whether Utahns might be interested in applying for a new legislative incentive worth $8,000 that would go toward parents doing homeschool. A quarter say they would. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The recently concluded G7 foreign ministers meeting in Japan considered the Israel-Hamas situation. So what's the reaction from China? More from ABC's Tom Rivers at the Foreign Desk.
Speaking in Beijing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin notes the G7 statement did not mention a ceasefire or the resumption of peace talks, nor did it address the implementation of the resolution of the UN General Assembly or the need for action by the Security Council. The bottom line, the Chinese ask, how exactly has the G7 meeting helped ease the situation and restore peace? Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 46 points, the S&P is down 5 points, and the NASDAQ is off 16 points. Coming up, we've got a beautiful weekend ahead. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:02.
Start your days with knowledgeable, friendly voices telling you about the latest news and weather out there.
Hi, this is Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
In the business of waking you up each morning from 5 to 9.
on KSL News Radio.
Every year I tell myself, Doug, you can't procrastinate. It's time to get into Burt Brothers. Make sure that the vehicle I drive, the vehicles that Dee drives, and our family vehicles are all ready for winter. And Burt Brothers, boy, as these temperatures start to drop, soon the snowflakes are going to fall, the roads are going to be slick. You need peace of mind on Utah's snowy roads. Winter tires from Burt Brothers, they make all the difference. You can drive with confidence. Specialized tires designed to grip the road in the harshest conditions. They give you better traction, handling, shorter braking distances, and the gift of safety for you and your loved ones. And right now, save up to $130 back on 4 Bridgestone Blizzak tires through December 16th. That's only at Burt Brothers with complete auto care. They can take care of it all. Make sure you're not off on the side of the road with a little help from your friends at Burt Brothers. And there's a location for Burt Brothers near you.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program in the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. My grand adventure this summer was to solo hike across Iceland. A few miles from the end, I was exhausted at the last river crossing. The glacier was a mile upstream. The swift cold water hit just below the waist. Halfway across this water, I began to slip. I could not go forward. I could not go back. And then I heard a loud voice behind me saying, "I've got your back." The man gently put his hand on my shoulder with just enough force to give me confidence to move forward. He was a British Royal Marine who saw I needed help. Leadership is about anticipating when people need help. It's about helping with just enough force to give confidence. Learn more about leadership in an MBA program from Utah State University. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Donate your car to Charity Hotline. This is Roger.
Hi, Roger, I'd like to donate my car.
Yeah, good. Leave the keys in it, park it on the street, and we'll send a thug. Tow.
Where's your office?
In New Jersey. Where do you want it to be?
Well, Roger,
yeah.
I want to make sure my donation helps Utah kidney patients.
It will.
Which ones?
Well, does it matter?
Yes, I want the money to stay in Utah.
And boy, have you got the wrong number.
If you want your car donation to help people here in Utah, turn your car into a kidney car for the National Kidney Foundation of Utah and Idaho. Hi, this is Luz Lewis Perez. Kidney Cars is the Beehive State's #1 choice for charity car donation since 1990. When you donate your car to Kidney Cars, funding stays in Utah to help local Utah kidney patients and funds local medical research. Kidney Cars gets donors the highest tax deduction, along with free towing. Visit towcars.org and learn more. That's Tow Cars with a K like kidney. That's TOWKARS.org.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
Valley Freeway traffic rolling along and looking good, but Bangerter Highway, it is closed southbound. Near 4800 South, no traffic getting through. You're going to see a large police presence. You need to find an alternate route and avoid this spot. Do you want a heating and air company which uses third-party verification over their work? One that's the highest rated on both Google and Yelp? Then call At Your Service Pros. 801 Your Pro. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, mostly sunny skies today, and that will continue into the weekend. Our high today is 49 degrees, but it looks like we'll get about 10 degrees warmer by Sunday. Our overnight temperatures will hover around freezing. Right now it's 43 degrees and sunny. I'm Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio. The race for the White House. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
Dave and I are going to talk now about not only last night's presidential debate, Republican GOP debate, but also who stays on stage for the next debate? Who gets bounced? What are your thoughts, Dave?
Who drops out?
Yeah.
I would.
Or who doesn't make it?
Who doesn't make it for sure is Tim Scott. He barely made this last one. So Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina, he's had a lot of support as far as fundraising. The Republican Party really likes him. He has just been terrible out on the campaign trail. He has not resonated. He has not been good on the debate stages. So I think he's out for sure.
Some people just don't. They seem promising, but when they get in front of a camera and a microphone and they have to go off script, some people just don't do well.
And that
we
means
we don't accept
yeah.
that. We just don't accept that. You have to constantly perform. I mean, I think that's what we become used to and expect.
I love how you describe that. You have to perform
Every time.
It is almost, the circus atmosphere. And if you don't perform, then you clearly can't be president of the United States. Ron DeSantis is not good on camera either. He might be a great president of the United States, but because he's a little awkward on camera, then we're done with him.
So yours is Tim Scott. You don't think he will make the next
For
debate?
sure.
And if he does, it's barely. Mine's Chris Christie.
Yeah.
Maybe he makes the next debate. They use a formula for this. To the RNC, Republican National Committee, will decide based on what their percentage is in the polling, and other things, I'm sure. But I think Chris Christie, I think he's a goner, spending a lot of money to keep himself on stage and not really gaining a lot of ground. Last night, Governor Ron DeSantis accused the Republican Party on being on a losing streak.
And he said Republicans were going to get tired of winning. Well, we saw last night, I'm sick of Republicans losing.
Specifically pointing the finger at President Trump's words.
Yeah, he when he was running, he has promised this resurgence. He has endorsed a ton of candidates. He's been very, very active in getting people that are very pro-Trump to run in local elections, and they have not done well. They have not fared well, and they haven't fared well for several years now.
How'd you feel about Vivek Ramaswamy's performance last night?
He is okay. He's very confrontational. He dominates the stage. Every time you talk about the debate, he is always involved. He's always seen. And he definitely keeps everybody on their toes. I think he's done pretty well. He is an adjutant, though. Yeah. He is an agitator.
Reminds me of the kid in grade school that would sit at the back of the class and throw spit wads through a straw. That's how it reminds me.
Blasting people in the back of the head.
And Nikki Haley, I thought she did great last night. I think she does very well on the debate stage. She stays on message. She knows her foreign policy better than anybody else on that debate stage last night because she's been there, done that. None of the others have been. But boy, he got under her skin.
Fact of the matter is the Republican Party is not that much better. You have the likes of Nikki Haley, who stepped down from her time at the UN. Bankrupt or in debt was her family. Then she becomes a military contractor. She joins the board of Boeing and otherwise, and is now a multimillionaire. So I think that's wrong when Republicans do it or Democrats do it. That's the choice we face. Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case, we've got two of them on stage.
Mr. Ramaswamy, thank you.
There's that spit wad from the back of the room, but boy, she's got to come back for him.
I'd first like to say they're 5-inch heels, and I don't wear them unless you can run in them.
Good for her.
Well, we've got two of you on stage.
The second thing that I will say is I wear heels. They're not for a fashion statement. They're for ammunition. I don't wear them unless you can run in them.
She was very good and has been very good in all of the debates. But there's no question. She and Vivek, they are always battling it out. They go back and forth constantly.
When I walked into the newsroom today, you were here first, and you said, yeah, he ain't going to be her running mate. And I said, well, it's interesting how candidates spar on the trail, on the campaign trail, and they kiss and make up, and before you know it, somebody else's running mate. But Vivek, he didn't just save it for Nikki. He also went after the NBC moderators.
Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. You think the Democrats, we've got Kristen Welker here, you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made-up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Mr. Ross.
Sorry. This is how we get our country back.
This has been a complaint from the Republicans for a long time, is who was moderating the debate. And this is why it matters. If you're wondering, oh, you just don't like the question they're asking. Yeah, because the questions the moderators ask define the narrative. So if I want to talk about this, if I want to talk about what my platform is, what my plan is to be president of the United States, these are my Republican values and core issues, and you never ask me about those things, that is unfair to me. Because what we are to do is we want to hear from the candidate what their plans for America are, what they're going to focus on. And if they are constantly being sucked into social issues, divisive issues where there is no solution, then it's just theater. So I absolutely agree with Vivek right there. When you choose the moderator that refuses to ask the questions that you want to talk about, that's unfair.
These debates shouldn't be run by the candidates, right?
What? Sure they
No,
should.
absolutely not. That's what they have websites for. That's what they do rallies for. That's what they buy commercial ad space for, bus billboards for. They can hit the campaign trail and talk about all of the issues uninterrupted by anybody in the media. They can frame that conversation however they want, and they do it. They've been doing it for a year straight. So when they take to a stage and are afraid of questions that they're uncomfortable with, then they don't belong on that stage, and they certainly don't belong in the Oval Office, because you're going to be asked a lot of questions by other people other than the media for the next 4 years. You better be ready. You better be ready for any question to come your way, even if it's not on your neatly put together website.
But the debate stage is where you should have to be able to defend the positions you're promoting. That's the basis of a debate, not to be able to talk about anything ad nauseum. I want to hear you defend the things that you want to focus on if you were to be president of the United States. Now, that being said, fourth debate has been scheduled. News Nation is going to host it December 6th, so it's coming up in just a little less than a month. And speaking of moderators, they've already chosen the moderators. It's not going to be Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and Tucker Carlson. Instead, the moderators will be Elizabeth Vargas, Megyn Kelly, and Eliana Johnson.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Did you know Utah has just one all-news station in the morning?
It's this one. Weekday mornings between 5 and 9.
Start your days with us. We're Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
Your morning companions for news.
KSL is in your community.
We are at the campus of Utah Valley University
and reporting on your community.
A bountiful neighborhood is doing what they can.
Make 102.7 your first preset for local information.
Driving anywhere, I have KSL radio on.
KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
I love healthy food. I don't eat healthy food because it's not convenient.
But you ate Fed Up Kitchen and you loved it.
Yeah.
It's healthy food made easy. FedUpKitchen.com. Go there now. Order online for next day pickup or delivery. And here's what you're going to get.
Yeah, super fresh food, very healthy, high protein, low carb, low fat. They've developed recipes and they make them fresh every single morning. They'll start as early as 3 o'clock in the morning in their kitchen, and they will prepare the meal. They'll put it in a container, you put it in a fridge, and then you just eat it at your convenience, and it is fresh and delicious.
No more grocery store runs, no more cooking for hours in the kitchen, no more chopping up all the vegetables and then throwing the stuff away because it goes bad. No cooking required with Fed Up Kitchen. It is heat and eat. It is fabulous. tons of locations, makes it convenient for you to run over there, pick up your meals in Draper, Kaysville, Lehigh, and Sugar House, and Orem, and Daybreak, and American Fork. Again, it's fedupkitchen.com.
Imagine how inconvenient your life would be without power. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, and no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have the power when you need it most. Generac generators automatically provide backup after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Schedule a free quote today with Genco Generators, your premier Generac service dealer in Utah. Call 801-295-0872 or online at gencogenerators.net.
Guys, your promise is your word, right? You stick by it, you live by it. So does Revive Men's Health with our Revive Promise for low T and ED. The Revive Promise means your tests and lab work are free when you begin treatment, and our low T and ED treatments are money back guaranteed. Yes, that's right. We stand behind our treatments and our results. That's our promise to you. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men with low T, ED, and sexual health issues since 2011. If you're experiencing symptoms like chronic low energy, less drive, sleep issues, weight gain, poor performance, bad moods, or ED, you need Revive. Don't settle. Get affordable, guaranteed custom low T and ED solutions with lasting results from Salt Lake City's favorite men's clinic. And remember, there are no extra bills when you begin treatment. All labs and tests are free, and your low T and ED treatments are money back guaranteed. Call Revive Men's Health Salt Lake City today to schedule your appointment. Call 801-263-7777. That's 801-263-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Britt Johnson. First, police have taken a 16-year-old boy into custody following a road rage called at a dispatch on Antelope Island Causeway yesterday. Second, Utah voters have glowing things to say about their neighborhood schools in a new survey. Third, the Chinese are asking how exactly has the G7 meeting helped ease the situation and restore peace between Israel and Hamas. Right now, it's 43 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
If you love shows like Yellowstone, and you've been waiting through this actor strike, we've got good news for you. They've reached a deal. This agreement all but ends one of the longest labor strikes in the entire history of the entertainment industry. I think there still has to be some boxes checked here, like the union members have to approve the deal. But it's basically over now, Dave.
And that's good news if you're big time into entertainment. If you watch TV, go to the movies, this has been shutting down the industry for a long time. What was interesting about this or unique is that the Writers Guild and the actors were striking simultaneously. Totally different unions, different organizations. But between the two of them shutting down, it just stuck everything in mud.
ABC News reporter Jason Nathanson joined Utah's Morning News this morning to talk about the done deal, the strike being over. He also spoke with chief negotiator Duncan Crabtree. I mean, I don't know. He spoke to the chief negotiator. I don't know who this person's name is for SAG-AFTRA.
This deal is valued at more than $1 billion in gains over the term of the contract, which is by far the most we've ever achieved. Second of all, I would point out that it has AI protections that I think position our members to be able to rely on a safe and respectful implementation of AI in this industry, not just over the term of this agreement, but even beyond that. And better money, frankly, being paid to people who work in the streaming space, where the changes in the business model have just wreaked havoc on our members' livelihoods.
Okay, so I got the name straight. Duncan Crabtree, Ireland, National Executive Director, Chief Negotiator for SAG-AFTRA.
When you see them negotiating and really trying to figure out what the future looks like, it's totally different. It is completely different than it was just 10 years ago. Netflix used to be a rental. It's a Blockbuster, where you could just have them literally deliver you DVDs that you would watch. Now they are producing some of the best movies, full-length feature films that are being produced today with A-list actors and actresses, with the best screenwriters. But it's a totally different business model. And I think it's totally appropriate. And it was smart of them, probably even long overdue, where the actors have to say, okay, this old model, the 1960s model, has to change.
Virginia Pierce, president of the Utah Film Commission. Good morning.
Good morning.
So we talked to you a few months ago about the hit that Utah took because of this strike. How bad did it end up being for us financially?
Yeah, it's been a long fall. I mean, as you said, it's the longest strike in the union's 90-year history. And here in Utah, it was about $70 million in production that has been on hold. That was supposed to be shooting throughout, late summer, early fall. That means fewer jobs for camera operators, makeup artists, set builders, location scouts, really anyone who works in jobs directly related or really indirectly related to making these shows. So it's been a tough fall.
Is that money gone forever, or is it just delayed?
It's just delayed. So these productions obviously would rather have been shooting all fall, and they're going to be scrambling to try to put everything back in motion. I think even although the strike has, mostly ended, it is going to take some time for the production to resume and things to get back to normal. It's kind of a massive puzzle to fit together to ensure the actors can finish up projects they were working on that got halted, and also start new ones they were slated to begin. So I think the impact is going to be felt as we head into the next year, but hopefully it will, pick up after that.
Well, the fact that the strike has ended just on the fray of winter setting in here, will that mess up any filming for the next couple of months?
What remains to be seen, really. I'm hopeful that some of the projects, we have the Utah Film Studio up in Park City, that obviously is not weather dependent, and one of the projects was slated to be in there, so that will be able to continue as normal. But there will be some that may have to push until next summer just to take advantage of the better weather.
I kind of chuckle that I have to ask you this question, but people may not realize this. Now that we're in the holiday season, Hallmark movies, very popular here in Utah. They film here in Utah often. How does that slate affect us right now, and what does that future look like?
Well, I think, maybe people don't know this, but most of the Hallmark films are shot, or Christmas holiday movies in general, are shot in the summer.
Oh, no, we missed it.
So we did squeeze in a few of those before the strike happened this summer. And there are a few that shot last winter because as these films get bigger budgets and more sophisticated, one especially is a Netflix show that is coming out, I think next weekend, called Best Christmas Ever. So there are a few that are definitely coming out that were shot last fall.
Oh, was that filmed in Utah?
It was filmed in Utah, yes.
Where? Because I always like to well, that's Park City or that's Tooele. Can you tell us where that was filmed?
Yes. So Best Christmas Ever was mostly kind of shot in and around Salt Lake and Utah County, but mostly in Payson. So Payson fans and Payson residents will recognize lots of this movie.
Yeah, Dave and I have done some live broadcasts from Payson, and my kids, and I'm sure Dave's daughter used to play a lot of softball down in Payson. So I'll look out for that. That's super cool. Okay, so can you give us the scoop, inside scoop? What other films or shows will start up production again here in Utah? Can you share any of that?
So the big ones that were on hold were unfortunately not to be named.
Oh, is there an NDA?
Because they are large projects, and hopefully they're going to get started here in the next few months, and then we can talk more about them at that point.
That's fun, though.
Does it rhyme with schmom schmooze?
What?
I mean, I don't need the exact name or the actor. Virginia Pierce, thank you for joining us. Congratulations. This is big for the Utah Film Commission as well. Obviously, as the actor strike seems to have come to an agreement with the studios. Thank you for joining us, Virginia.
Mine's Yellowstone. Been waiting for the I don't even know where it's at right now with things because I have stopped watching it because, everything was on hold. But I heard Tim talking this morning to Amanda that he's tired of game shows running in prime time. And I'm like, I don't watch a lot of television anymore. I get most everything like a Netflix or my apps. I'm watching news. I watch it on the apps. Like, have they been airing game shows in prime time?
Debbie, that is the exact reason the actors were striking, is because this old school way of sitting down at 7 o'clock and watching until 10, watching prime time during the week, that's just not how we watch anymore.
It hasn't been how I've watched for probably a decade.
You would watch the same quality of shows. You will watch, the same kind of stuff. You're just going to do it on a different timeline. When you have an hour, maybe it'll be the 11 to midnight instead of the 7 to 8 o'clock. We have just changed the way we watch and we consume media, and they need to change the way they pay the actors accordingly.
Well, great point. I guess I accidentally nailed it, huh?
Yep. Right on the nose.
Next, let's talk about Veterans Day. It is on the horizon. Is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow. Maybe Saturday? I've got to look that up. Saturday. It is Saturday. And so we're going to celebrate veterans. But here's what we're going to talk about next is mental health and what is being done to help veterans who are experiencing PTSD.
It's 11:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Britt Johnson. KSL's top story this hour, a sheriff's deputy who handles canines is now facing charges accused of striking or assaulting his dog. The Davis County Attorney's Office says canine Rolf was struck during a training exercise in August. Rolf was checked out by Davis County Animal Care. His handler, Corporal Timothy Robinson, was placed on leave and has since been reassigned to other duties. The charge is a Class A misdemeanor. Utah's overall debt is the fourth worst in the nation. Zions Bank Region President Stephanie Sherrill says one way you can cut back on your debt is to keep a budget and pay more than just the monthly minimum on your credit card. She also recommends planning out your holiday shopping.
I actually recommend a envelope system. So where you have a set amount, you take cash with you and, use that. And then when you're out, you're out. You can't make that impulse buy when you walk by that store at the mall.
Cheryl says nothing's stopping you from doing the same online. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. President Biden travels to Illinois today to meet with auto workers at a shuttered plant that will reopen after strike negotiations. ABC News White House correspondent Kara Travers has details.
Today's visit to a Stellantis auto plant that will reopen after negotiations with the UAW is something of a victory lap for President Biden. The president strongly supported the striking auto workers in their labor dispute against the big three automakers, appearing on a picket line in Michigan in September, the first time in living memory an American president did that. The president will be joined today by UAW President Shawn Fain, who's expressed his appreciation for the president's support. But notably, the Auto Workers Union has not yet endorsed the president's re-election bid. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Your money at this moment. The Dow has dipped a bit. It's lost 90 points. The S&P is off 11 points. The NASDAQ is also down 29 points. Coming up, we get sunny skies for a while. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 11:32.
What do you need to
to hear in the morning to feel ready for the day.
Important news that happened overnight, the traffic you'll hit on the roads.
You'll be ready for your day with us.
Join Utah's Morning News 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. I want you to know that it's the little things that count. Any remodeler can say they treat customers right when it comes to siding, gutters, windows, and exteriors. It's hard to know for sure. If a contractor uses cheap generic nails instead of super grippy ridge shaft nails for your siding, would you even know? If they use cheap $4 caulk to install your new windows instead of paying $9 a tube for the good stuff, could you tell by looking? It all comes down to the details and trust. At RGS Exteriors, we only do things one way, the right way. We never cut corners. We never skimp on details. We never do less than the job requires. That's why we offer our industry's exclusive 10-year everything guarantee. And it's why we have the happiest customers. If you need any gutters, siding, or replacement windows, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsutah.com. That's 801-280-3110 or online at rgsutah.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey guys, Alex Curie here for Alpine Home Medical. You've heard us talking for years about Alpine Home Medical and the great service that they provide, bringing wellness home. That's what they do. They can help you with any medical supply that you have need of right in your home. They have brick and mortar stores. Yes, in fact, they have a brand new location in Tooele, and all of it can be intimidating when it comes to your medical supply needs. But don't let it be, because Alpine Home Medical has so many experts who can walk you through all this. Let's say you want to get a new CPAP machine. Let's say that you want to get part of their CPAP resupply program. They can do all of it. They can help you professionally, walk you through all of the steps to make sure that that CPAP machine is up and running perfectly so that you can be on your way. It doesn't just leave there. It's not about just selling the product at Alpine Home Medical. It's about making sure that you get the service that you need. Give them a call today. Go to alpinehomemedical.com to find out more information about how Alpine can help you in your home or at any of their local stores anywhere across the Wasatch Front, like I said, including at their brand new location in Tooele. It's alpinehomemedical.com, alpinehomemedical.com.
At KSL News Radio, we have a 30-year legacy of honoring Utah teachers, but we can't do it without your help. Please tell us about an important teacher in your life on the KSL Teacher Tribute Wall, presented by Cypress Credit Union. Each month, one lucky teacher wins a $500 gift card from Cypress Credit Union, a $250 gift card to Harmon's, plus season tickets to Hale Center Theater. Say thanks to your teacher today at kslnewsradio.com/teacher from Cypress Credit Union and KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
Some big problems on Bangerter Highway. We have a crash with injuries, and it has been affecting both north and southbound Bangerter just after the 201 junction, about 1820 south. Now, they had been blocking both directions of that intersection. Southbound is able to get through. Northbound left lanes are blocked. Expect some backups. But for those on southbound Bangerter Highway in Taylorsville, we have a fatal accident under investigation, and crews are still going to be on the scene for a while. That means southbound Bangerter is closed at 4800 South until further notice. You need to avoid it and use an alternate route. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather. It's a beautiful day out there, a little bit chilly, a high of 49 degrees today. We do get a little warmer over the weekend into the upper 50s, and we get sunshine most of the weekend. Right now it's 46 degrees and sunny. I'm Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic.
We want to talk about Veterans Day and help for veterans when it comes to mental health specifically. We have a volunteer military, and a lot of these folks end up in battle. They have ended up in wars. Even in peacetime, they end up seeing things that a lot of people have a hard time processing. So in a moment, we're going to speak with a therapist about dealing with PTSD.
I just learned from my uncle the other day that my grandfather, who had received a Purple Heart in World War II, he lost his eye. My grandfather never talked about World War II. And I know that when he was recovering from that injury, he was on a aircraft carrier that had been converted into a hospital. To pass the time, he perfected his penmanship. And then he would write letters to the families for the recovering veterans on that ship. And I'm like, that's a beautiful story. I never heard it from him. And my grandfather and I were close because he never talked about it. And I know that he never talked about it because it was too hard.
John Ellis, therapist with Numinous. Good morning. Dave, that's an amazing story. I'm sure you could probably shed some light on Dave just finding out secondhand about that story, something his grandpa never talked about, because I'm sure a lot of veterans do keep things inside.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. I think a lot of veterans do keep things inside, but they do have stories to tell. And when they start to tell them, it does help. You know, I would sit with my grandfather that served in World War II in his apartment. He'd have his Budweiser, his oxygen tank, his cigarette, and his black coffee. And he probably only told me one story after I mowed his lawn. And my other grandfather served in World War II as well. But we need to help them start telling their stories a little bit. And when they do, we need to listen. So it helps them, and it's hard to kind of tell them. Even the good ones.
Yeah. What is so beneficial about being able to talk about the horrors or the struggles or the doubts that happen during service?
Well, I think there's a principle of identification that really works well in like group therapies and amongst people. And just we can really identify with each other during stories, and then there's that emotion and empathy that can be formed in that connection. I think that's really where it starts, whether it's in a therapeutic relationship, just one-on-one with a family member, or amongst veterans, combat or otherwise.
John Ellis is a therapist with Numinous, and he also previously served with the United States Air Force Reserves, joining us now as we honor veterans on Veterans Day who are coping with PTSD. If someone's listening to this and they feel like maybe they're dealing with it, but they don't know what to do about it, give us an example of some of the signs of PTSD, and also like where to turn for help.
Yeah, I think some of the most common that people would understand is flashbacks, some hypervigilance and hyperstartle, any night terrors and dreams. Sometimes, though, it's just a lack of safety in yourself and distrust. Doesn't mean you're antisocial, but you do really struggle to have that sense of safety and trust with yourself and others. Sometimes there is some existential dread or fear that can kind of consume the mind or the heart with what they've witnessed or what they've experienced. I'd first encourage veterans to start with the VA. I really think we do have one of the best VAs in the West, in the United States. Obviously, it has some dysfunction. There's a DAV for disabled veterans up in Building 550. They really help people get started and, see their benefits. We have some expanded benefits of the PACT Act now, from Agent Orange, to these burn pits. And I think whether you have PTSD or not, you need to start being assessed. You need to start engaging that resource. Next thing would be like community resources like Numinous, where, I am paneled with TRICARE. I can diagnose PTSD. We have ketamine, which is highly effective for suicidal ideation. We're still losing 22 veterans a day. Some would say 44. So, that lack of safety, you're going to be able to bridge that, whether it's with medicine or with a person, and start treating some of those real symptoms, even suicidal thought, some of the isolation you might feel in your own mind.
You talked about group therapy. You referenced ketamine. I've read stories about the psychedelic drugs that are being tested out as well. What have you learned about maybe the medicinal purposes of maybe some of the psychedelics? Have we learned anything new about those?
We really have. And, Numinous is connected with MAPS now and kind of leaning out in that clinical research, especially in Draper. They just completed an MDMA research study. And I think that's probably going to come online and be legalized. But ketamine really is sufficient in treating suicidal ideation and PTSD and trauma. It's highly effective. 86% of patients report within 4 to 6 sessions having a reduction of symptoms of PTSD and suicidal thought. So I think we really have learned, from the 70s to now, kind of the psychedelic renaissance, there really is a lot of research and some real expertise and people that really know how to help you kind of navigate that experience. And just the medicinal aspect and it's very regenerative to neurons. Trauma rewires the brain. So we kind of got to take a neurological approach, even if it's medicinal. And so really helping people rewire their brain from that trauma and that medicinal kind of regeneration of neurons that happens during a psychedelic experience. But, I could talk about this all day. I think even in a group setting where you have the identification, right, and you're kind of under that ketamine at a clinical dose, a very therapeutic dose, and you're being guided by someone and it's safe, it'd be very healing. Sometimes, though, it's hard. There's barriers to treatment. It's hard to kind of step into that experience. But they are around. It is happening. And, I've been part of it for about 2.5 years with Numinous in Layton. It's been really profound. I've treated veterans for a long time. I'm one myself. And it's been powerful.
Well, John, we appreciate you taking the time and having this conversation with us. Previously served in the Air Force. Thank you for joining us.
John Ellis with Numinous. Yeah, I appreciate that. If you miss that conversation and you want to catch more of it because you know somebody who's a vet or you're a veteran yourself, first of all, thank you for your service. But secondly, you can podcast this on your favorite podcast platform. We usually load those up right after the show. If you haven't been to the airport recently, Dave, and I ended up driving around the airport the other day. I don't want to explain why, but I was driving around the airport.
Casual fun drive, as you do.
The other morning at 6 a.m. I was driving around the airport, and I came upon this massive art. I want to call it a monument. And I was like, what in the world is going on? This thing is 150,000 pounds. It's like 90 feet tall. It's 12 stories, and it's greeting you as you're pulling into the Salt Lake International Airport. What it's all about next in a live conversation with the artist who made it.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Hi, it's Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
Why should you start your day with us?
We have decades of news experience between us.
And we take your trust seriously.
Come here for news tomorrow, 5 to 9.
On KSL.
Tonight at 10 on KSL, pregnant while pregnant? How did this even happen? When a Utah family turned to science to grow their family, the results came with a surprise.
It was very confusing to us.
And a mystery to unravel.
She had been a genetic counselor for 25 years, never had this happen.
News specialist Ashley Moser has their unexpected story.
I don't even know what to tell people.
Getting pregnant while pregnant. Tonight on KSL 5 News at 10.
You know what? I think the holidays are the worst time of year for your furnace to go out. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and every November it feels like people get extra stressed when faced with the need to replace their furnace. The money they've been saving is supposed to go to Christmas, and now they're faced with a choice: Christmas or comfort. This holiday season, Any Hour Services wants to help alleviate some of that stress with our special holiday financing. No money down and no payments until next year. Plus, if you schedule a free estimate before the end of November, Any Hour Services will give you $1,500 off any full system you buy. And that doesn't even factor in the rebates and incentives you might qualify for. Again, during the month of November, Any Hour Services will give you $1,500 off any furnace and air conditioner you buy, and you can take advantage of our special holiday financing with no money down and no payments until next year. For more details, call Any Hour Services and schedule a free estimate. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Honey, can you swing by the post office and grab some stamps?
Done.
And drop off these packages?
Sure thing, honey.
Oh, and get the tracking info.
Got it.
But you haven't moved.
I know. How great is that?
This holiday season, the Postal Service is closer than ever with convenient ship-from-home services like label printing, free package pickup, and delivery notifications. You can send more holiday joy from the comfort of home. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Ship from home at USPS.com/holidayjoy.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. When it comes to making sure that audiovisual technologies work correctly, whether in the business place, working remotely, or in the classroom, one company stands out: AVI SPL. Brent Stample directs business development for the company and explains what his firm offers.
AVI SPL helps businesses, schools, and government agencies with their audiovisual presentation technology. This could include installing a digital kiosk in a lobby, or signage around a campus, or building out or replacing presentation equipment in a boardroom, classroom, or even auditorium or theater. We don't just install technology and walk away. We make sure your systems work together and provide ongoing support. We also help employees connect whether they are in the office or working from home. Have you ever logged into a meeting and the tech just didn't work? We help ensure that doesn't happen, whether your teams use Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, or other apps. AVI SPL is the leading audiovisual integration company with over 60 global offices, including Salt Lake City. We have your back and can support all your commercial audiovisual integration needs. Go to avispl.com to learn more.
AVI SPL provides services to more than 80% of the Fortune 100 companies. They also work with medium-sized corporations, small businesses, schools, and government agencies to ensure that video meetings and other systems work flawlessly. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Britt Johnson. First, a sheriff's deputy who handles canines is now facing charges accused of striking or assaulting his dog. Second, Utah's overall debt was ranked the 4th worst in the nation, according to Wallet Hub. Third, President Biden travels to Illinois today to meet with auto workers at a shuttered plant that will reopen after strike negotiations. Right now, it's 46 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
If you're a regular listener of the show and you know that on Fridays that Dave and I haven't had a show for a long time, well, here's some good news. Finally, Fridays. D2 is expanding. We're upgrading the show, and we're going to tackle Friday mornings from 9 to 11 starting in January.
Yep. It's going to be very cool, very exciting. We're happy to be there. Also, if you're wondering, what about the movie show? Isn't the movie show during that time? The movie show is going to be from 11 to 1, so if you're enjoying a lunch, you can listen to the movie show then.
I'm excited as well to talk about what I saw at the Salt Lake International Airport the other morning as I swooped in there. You don't need to know why. And Dave, I was approaching from Bangerter. I end up in the airport, and I'm like, what in the world is this massive, gorgeous, big structure that looked like mountain peaks? It looked like the Wasatch Front. We're putting it up, in fact, right now on our KSL News Radio Facebook page. Our producer, Caitlin, has loaded the photo of the peaks. It is gorgeous. But I didn't know what in the world it was until we got notification from the Salt Lake International Airport. They were dedicating this 12-story monument, 150,000 pounds, and it was dedicated this week.
I'll tell you this, when I look at it, artwork can really be a little out there for me. You know, sometimes like the bean in Chicago, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I saw this immediately. I knew what it was. I knew what it represented. It was beautiful and cool and unique and modern, all of these things. I thought, you know what? Well done. Whoever the artist was, well done.
Oh, we've got the artist on the line. Good morning, Gordon.
Good morning to you.
Gordon Huther, he's the artist of the peaks. Caitlin, will you put that picture back up on our Facebook page so our So if you're anywhere by your computer or you've got your phone in hand and you're listening to us and it's safe to do so, check this out. It is absolutely gorgeous. What inspired you? What inspired you?
You guys were already talking about it, and it's called The Peaks because it's inspired by the surrounding mountains. And so, we're trying to tell a story about the natural beauty that is Utah, and it's a pretty significant gateway to the airport. And we're really excited and humbled and proud to have been the artist studio that made that all happen.
So it's the tallest peak is it 90 feet?
Yep, that's about 12 stories tall, and it weighs about 75 tons.
And then the shorter peaks are about how tall, Gordon?
Well, let's see. You go 90. There's 70. There's 60
wow.
feet. Yeah, so it's all. Even the smallest one is pretty darn big.
Yeah, that's incredible. What's it made of?
It's all made out of what's called weathering steel, also known as Core 10 steel. So the patina will age naturally over the next year, and then it'll stabilize into a nice, rich brown color.
When you said the height, I thought that's pretty high for a bunch of planes that are flying around. Was that an issue, or did you have to address that?
Well, sure. Yeah, so, we had to get clearance from the FAA, and there's also a big light medallion that marks the spot on a world map where Utah is, and so there was some concern that would confuse the pilots, but we got a clear go-ahead from the FAA, so definitely had to get cleared by them.
How did the airport or the city contact you, or did you reach out to them and say, I've got an idea for the gateway to the airport, let's put the peaks up?
No, it didn't quite go like that.
Okay.
So I was hired by the airport probably 8-9 years ago, and we've been working on multiple major sculpture installations inside the airport. But this is the first one that's outside. So, the mayor's office supported the contract that we have, and we've just been busy for 8-9 years now. And we still have, I'd say another 18 months of other projects that we're working on now at the airport. So it's pretty amazing, actually.
We're speaking to the artist of the peaks. You'll see the peaks as you're driving out to the Salt Lake International Airport. It's this beautiful, new modern design. It looks like the mountains. It obviously represents the mountains here in Utah. And we're speaking to the artist, Gordon Huther. And I can't help but wonder, how many models did you go through to come up with this final design? And what was the scale of the models?
The scale, well, I don't know if your listeners are would understand, but in that case, I worked at what's called 1 inch equals a foot. And so spent probably a year with the airport team. You have to know the where before you know the what. And so the old golf course there, we looked at that area. Mm-hmm. We looked all trying to find just a perfect sweet spot for a gateway installation. And so once we knew the where, then started thinking about the what, and started with sketches, then went to cardboard models, and then you really start digging deep in how you're actually going to make it, what's it going to be made of, how are you going to install it. There's so many layers to sculptures that are that size. It's pretty much like building a building. So you have structural engineers involved, you have digital designers, project managers. We had a crew, I think about 12 people for the installation. A lot of them had to be what's called certified climbers because, you have to climb up all in there and bolt it all together. And it was I had it made in Germany, and it took 15 40-foot-long containers to get it all across the pond to the site.
That is fascinating. So I grew up working in my dad's foundry, our family foundry in Arizona, and my dad's foundry cast the lion in front of the MGM Grand. And when that project was happening, it's a big project, and that's not nearly the height of what you have there at the airport, Gordon, but I do remember, I think it was cast in separate sections, and then it was hauled in to Las Vegas and installed. So did they have to cast that at a foundry and then put it to, or was it all shipped over separately in pieces?
Yeah, it was in pieces, and there wasn't really a foundry involved. The foundry is typically for casting bronze, and this is basically fabricated steel. So lots of cutting and welding and grinding, and I think there's a total of about 10,000 bolts that hold it all together.
Wow.
So yeah, it's definitely a feat of. It's not just a feat of. I'd like to think a beautiful art installation, but it's definitely a feat of engineering.
We've got about a minute left, but I got to know, what was the worst, most difficult part of this?
Well, we were on a deadline, and we had 3 containers that were stuck in the Panama Canal. They had a little traffic jam going there.
Oh, you were caught in that?
Yeah. So
man.
The last containers got there just in time. So it all came together super beautifully. And I'm still in Salt Lake now. We're refining the lighting, and wait until you guys see this puppy lit up at night. It's just so incredibly dramatic. So
when will that happen, Gordon?
It's lit now. We're just out there tonight and tomorrow night kind of fussing around, adjusting the lights just right. We were out there last night. It's just so spectacular. I just can't believe that that came out of me.
That's so awesome, Gordon. Congratulations, and thanks for making this a part of our community for everybody to enjoy. It is very, very special. I loved it when I saw it the other day. Just totally came out of the blue at me, totally surprised. It's amazing. And I'm going to make a random trip to the airport this weekend after the sun goes down, because I do want to check it out lit up at night. Gordon,
yeah, totally. You know, it gets dark pretty early now.
Yeah,
so
I
get on
know.
up.
I know, like at 1 p.m.
At
Thanks.
lunch.
Yeah.
Take a drive for lunch.
Gordon, this was a great conversation. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day. Gordon Huther, the artist of the peaks, which you can now see at the Salt Lake International Airport. And I got to tell you, it's 2 thumbs up, Dave.
4 thumbs up.
4 thumbs up. That's right.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
Listen at home on any smart speaker.
And in your car at 102.7 FM.
This is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time is 12 o'clock noon, and this is Utah's Noon News. I'm Maria Chaleos. KSL's top story this hour, strong opinions and frayed nerves after a decision not to overturn a high school football playoff loss, despite one team having an ineligible player on the field. Coaches, players, students, and parents from Pleasant Grove High School are protesting. We have 2 reports, beginning with KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
At least 50 people gathered outside the Utah High School Activities Association offices to protest their decision to only suspend Skyridge High's head coach, despite the controversy in their quarterfinal win over Pleasant Grove.
For them to just try to sweep it under the rug doesn't seem fair to the kids, doesn't seem fair to the game.
Alex Caressa is the Pleasant Grove quarterback's coach. He says when this happens, the punishment is almost always a forfeited season, just like for the 2019 Lone Peak High team. Now parents like Angela Peterson are asking the UHSAA to go back on the suspension and do what they believe is right by the kids.
No more us having to take the high road. You guys just do what's right.
Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
The State High School Activities Association has not yet returned our request for a comment. Sports leaders in Utah say in spite of the situation in high school football, sports has the power to bring people together. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell is sitting in on a panel discussion on sports diplomacy.
Danelle Umstead is a Paralympian in alpine skiing. She didn't find sport until she was 29. But like everyone else on the panel discussing how sport bridges social gaps, she has a personal story that goes a lot deeper than just her accomplishments on the international stage. She says it gave her a sense of belonging, something she says she never had growing up with a disability. She runs the Sisters in Sports Foundation, a charity that funds and supports female athletes in Utah. Her message today, sport saves lives and has room for everyone. Hugo Cardbell, KSL News Radio.
A 16-year-old is in custody after a shooting on Antelope Island's Causeway. Police say just after 1:30 yesterday, they found a 50-year-old man shot about 1.5 miles from the Causeway toll booth, and they got him on a helicopter to the hospital. Stephanie Dinsmore with the Davis County Sheriff's Office says the initial call reported a case of road rage.
Stay safe out there. Don't engage with other motorists who seem to potentially have behaviors that you don't know about. Keep going, as tough as that might be.
Dinsmore says the 16-year-old boy allegedly fled and hid in the brush off the causeway. They found him with the help from a helicopter. As of last update, the man who was shot is in stable condition. KSL's top national stories this hour. The White House announcing new efforts today to allow civilians out of Gaza and humanitarian aid in.
We understand that Israel will begin to implement 4-hour pauses in areas of northern Gaza each day, with an announcement to be made 3 hours beforehand.
That's White House National Security spokesman John Kirby. The president today said that it is taking longer than he hoped for Israel's prime minister to follow through with some of his suggestions. A fight over campaign signs in Orem has put a spotlight on a gray area in Utah law. Orem police are investigating whether a city leader was legally justified when she took down a city council candidate's campaign sign. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has more.
It all began on Halloween when the Orem Police Department got a complaint that a member of the city's planning commission was taking down someone else's political campaign signs at a local business. The Daily Herald reports that Helena Kleinline says she got a written permission from an employee at that business to take down placards belonging to a city council candidate, and that the candidate didn't have permission to put that sign up in the first place. It was later found that the employee didn't have the authority to give her the go-ahead. Orem City's assistant attorney tells the Herald it's usually property owners and not business owners who get the final say over whether a campaign sign comes down here in Utah. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
It was a fiery third Republican presidential debate, and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley found herself playing a central role. ABC's M. Wynn has more from Washington.
As we've seen from the previous two Republican primary debates, the candidate most attacked usually gains the most traction, and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley was that person. Things got heated when candidate Vivek Ramaswamy started talking about banning TikTok.
While her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time, so you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Your adult daughter. The next generation of Americans are using it, and that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth.
You're just
the easy answer.
M. Wynn, ABC News, Washington.
A bipartisan political movement with ties to a former Utah governor is hoping to provide voters with an alternative in 2024. Former Utah Governor John Huntsman is one of the co-chairs of the group called No Labels. Today, its national director, Joe Cunningham, says No Labels is looking for presidential candidates who are willing and able to work with both sides of the political aisle. Earlier this year, No Labels hinted at plans for a unity campaign in the 2024 race, but stopped short of naming any candidates. First Look Traffic. Good afternoon, Ricky.
Good afternoon, Maria. We still have a closure in place southbound Bangerter Highway due to a fatal crash in Taylorsville. It's closed at about 4800 South. Until they've completed their investigation, you need to avoid the area and take an alternate route. Ricky Meeson, the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:05.
Listen to KSL for news to get exactly what you want.
It's a good place to get accurate news.
They do the in-depth, reliable, balanced, thought-provoking.
Hear the important stories, the stories that affect you.
On KSL News Radio.
Attention smart homeowners. You don't have to fall for flashy promises and companies that don't even prove their work. At Your Service Pros uses third-party verification software called MeasureQuick to ensure your new HVAC system is installed correctly. This ultimate game changer in the HVAC industry lets you, the homeowner, have proof of how your system was installed. At Your Service Pros utilizes our Bluetooth tools to upload all of your system's information into MeasureQuick. We rely on data-driven insights to properly commission, optimize, and fine-tune your HVAC system for peak performance, improving your family's comfort, lowering your utility bills, and extending the life of your HVAC system. With rebates and tax credits available totaling more than $7,500 on a dual fuel heating and cooling system, it is now more important than ever that your HVAC system be installed correctly. So call us today at 801-YOUR-PRO. That's 801-YOUR-PRO. Have the peace of mind of saving up to 50% on your new system and knowing it's installed correctly by calling 801-YOUR-PRO.
Advertising used to be simple. Your options were radio, TV, newspaper, and let's not forget the yellow pages. Now it seems like a tidal wave of options. Podcast, cable TV, streaming, OTT, CTV, audio networks, smart speakers. On top of that, you need digital marketing for your website along with SEM, SEO, display, video, YouTube, email, and all the social media platforms. Look, you're the expert in your business. Wouldn't it be nice to have an expert to market you? We are Bonneville Salt Lake, the local marketing and media company you know and trust. We reach customers across all digital and social platforms and have the reach of traditional advertising available as well. We find your customer anytime, any place, anywhere on any device here in Utah or anywhere in the world. We work to optimize your results with our in-house local team of experts, providing you with qualified leads, not just impressions. Contact us at aimyourdigital.com for a free consultation, including a complete digital audit with no obligation or cost to you. We are Bonneville Salt Lake. Your success starts at aimyourdigital.com.
Thank you for joining us for Utah's Noon News, recapping our top stories. Students, parents, and staff at Pleasant Grove High School say their football team should be back in the playoffs after it came out that the team that they lost to used an ineligible player for 2 games. KSL News Time 12:08. Police say an elderly man has died after a crash on Bangerter Highway. The southbound lanes are closed at 5300 South while police respond. We'll get a full update from Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center coming up. Utah has the 4th largest debt increase in the nation. Zions Bank Region President Stephanie Sherrill says one thing that we can do is practice some good old-fashioned financial restraint.
It's really important to make sure that you're not financing a lifestyle that you can't afford. You have to ask yourself, do I really need this item? And if you really feel like it is something that is a need and not just a want, then planning ahead.
Sherrill says if you are in debt, talk to your bank and attack your small debts first. Dozens of protesters raised their voices outside a Washington State Boeing delivery center in protest of the war in Gaza. The group says they were taking part in an international day of action against companies who make weapons or vehicles used in war.
We want Boeing out of the University of Washington and their investments out of our education system. We want to stop profiting off of war.
So far, there's been no comment from Boeing. The Senate Judiciary Committee is debating whether to subpoena people accused of offering lavish trips and perks to Supreme Court justices. Committee Chair Dick Durbin says the court should follow the same ethics rules that other judges have to follow. It's a measure that the Illinois Democrat points out Republicans agreed with in a bill proposed just last year.
To argue we have no constitutional authority to establish ethics standards for the court is to ignore this bipartisan action by this very same committee 1 year ago.
No vote was taken today on that measure. And a federal trial is now underway in San Francisco for the man who was accused of breaking into the home of Nancy Pelosi last year and attacking her husband with a hammer.
In opening statements, prosecutors held up the hammer allegedly used in the attack on Paul Pelosi and described how the attack was carried out. They told jurors David DePape researched Pelosi's background and address a week before the attack. He took public transit to Pelosi's home, and jurors were shown video of DePape allegedly trying to break in. They said he roamed around the home, tied up Paul Pelosi in the bathroom, but that Pelosi was able to call 911 and attacked Pelosi when police arrived. Jurors were shown a photo of Paul Pelosi's head in a pool of blood. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Where are those trouble spots, Ricky?
Bangerter has 2 of them. Now, first is the closure of southbound Bangerter in Taylorsville, 4800 South, due to the ongoing investigation of a fatal crash. Now, I think they're going to be wrapping that up any minute now. We will keep you posted. As soon as I see cars starting to drive through that area, we will let you know. But then we had the crash with injuries that affected both north and southbound I-15 at Bangerter Highway, just north of the SR 201 junction at 1820 South. Now, that's an intersection that gets a lot of activity. And right now, even on the southbound side, crews remain at the intersection to the left. But on the northbound side, the left lane is still blocked. And, Maria, I think I have an update on the southbound closure.
All right.
I think I'm seeing cars drive through right now from the live traffic cameras. Again, southbound Bangerter Highway in Taylorsville, 4800 south. We may wait for an official confirmation, but it's looking pretty good so far.
Perfect.
And then southbound I-15, a little bit of heavy and slow traffic going through Layton. Join the Utah Symphony for the greatest classical hits from the 1700s to today. Tickets start at just $21. Get yours today at utahsymphony.org. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Drier air has filtered into the state today. We're going for a high of 49 degrees with sunny skies. Overnight lows dropping down to the low 30s and upper 20s. For tomorrow, high of 51, but mostly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Nice sunshine, 47 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. Coming up on Utah's New News, it takes a village to bring a Trader Joe's to town. At least that's the approach of one Utah city. You'll want to stay tuned. That story coming up on KSL. Streaming at home on any smart speaker and in your car at 102.7 FM. This is KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
As the weather turns colder, this is when you need to get those new windows. So call Advanced Window Products. They'll replace your single-pane, rickety old windows with stylish, state-of-the-art double-pane windows with precision frames. You pick the style and color. They're custom-made right here in Salt Lake City. This company is so Utah. It's run by two guys who grew up here, Jake Weber and Utes defensive star Nate Orchard, the mayor of Sacktown with 7 NFL seasons under his belt. Great guys, great company, building high-quality windows for 37 years. Unlike other companies, they build the windows, they install the windows, and they guarantee them for life. No middleman. There's Jake, Nate, and their team, and there's you. Saving on the highest quality windows. Right now, before winter, get $2,000 off 10 windows or more, and they offer 60 months, 0% financing. So call Advanced Window Products now. You could have stylish new windows in 8 weeks. 801-850-9100. 801-850-9100 or visit AdvancedWindowsUSA.com.
This time of year can be a lot, and it's natural to feel some sadness or anxiety about it. But adding something new and positive to your life can counteract some of those feelings. Therapy can be a bright spot amid all of the stress and change. Something to look forward to make you feel grounded, and to give you the tools to manage everything going on. Learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Salt Lake today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Salt Lake, and get 10% off your first month.
Hello, car donation hotline.
Hi, I'd like to donate a car to the Utah Kidney Foundation. Are you in Utah?
Awesome. Let's get some info and we'll send you a tow truck.
But I want my car donation to benefit my neighbor in Farmington who needs a transplant. Are you in Utah?
That's a gnaw. I'm in SoCal, but you're still donating to charity.
What charity?
Doesn't matter.
Yes, I want my donation to stay in Utah.
Righteous dude. You need to call tow cars in Utah. Locals only, am I right?
Oh, yeah. I remember tow cars with a K like kidney. It's on a billboard somewhere. TOWKARS.org. That's it. Towcars.org.
If you'd like your vehicle donation to help Utah kidney patients in the Beehive State, please use the web address on their billboard, towcars.org, to donate your old car or truck. That's TOWK like kidney, ARS. Towcars.org.
KSL News Time 12:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
dozens of parents, coaches, players, and students from Pleasant Grove High School are protesting a decision to uphold the results of a playoff game where they were beaten by a team with an ineligible player on the field. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, a Davis County Sheriff's deputy who has worked as a canine handler is now facing charges accused of striking or assaulting his dog. He has since been moved to other duties. Third, traffic and weather together. Ricky?
Well, good news for drivers on Bangerter Highway. Southbound travel is open again from 4500 south Taylorsville going into Kearns, but we still have the cleanup of the crash on Bangerter Highway, both directions, just after the 201 junction. On the northbound side, the left lanes are still blocked at 1820 South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic
Sunny
Center.
skies, but cool air still in place. We'll top out at 49 today. I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, sunny and 47 degrees downtown. Time for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Gaza, pauses are being put in place to allow civilians safe passage. It follows a month of airstrikes and weeks of ground battles as Israel tries to eliminate Hamas following the Hamas attacks in Israel. Talks are still ongoing to free hundreds of hostages held by Hamas.
The White House said Thursday Israel will begin to implement 4-hour pauses in areas of northern Gaza every day starting today, with an announcement made 3 hours ahead of time. National Security spokesman John Kirby.
We've been told by the Israelis that there will be no military operations in these areas over the duration of the pause, and that this process is starting today.
Asked today if he had asked the Israeli prime minister for a 3-day pause in strikes on Gaza, President Biden said yes, and that he's asked for an even longer pause. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Happening now in Illinois, President Biden visiting Belleville, northwest of Chicago. He is touting union jobs and meeting with United Auto Workers and leaders at the reopening of a Stellantis plant following the auto strike. An investigation underway into 2 states after election offices received suspicious envelopes.
Officials in Washington state and in Georgia are acknowledging suspicious envelopes with powdery substances in them have been arriving. Spokane police say one was sent to the Spokane County Elections Office. It was negative for chemical or biological agents and explosives, but it was positive for fentanyl. Police say other offices in Washington state had received similar envelopes. In Georgia, the FBI says letters were sent to ballot counting centers nationwide, including in Atlanta. Alex Stone, ABC News.
If you're thinking about a career in commercial aviation, it's a good time to be a pilot. American Airlines Regional Carrier PSA says it's offering a $250,000 sign-on bonus for captains who will leave cargo carriers like FedEx and UPS. It comes as UPS is starting to offer buyouts to some pilots due to reduced shipments. You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. Kaysville is all hands on deck to bring a certain store to town. Even the cheerleaders are involved.
When we say traitors, you say toast. Traitor, toast.
Kaysville Mayor Tamara Tran joined David Dujanovic to talk about it this morning.
Our pitch to them is just that Kaysville is centrally located. It's in the heart of Davis County. Another store, Red Balloon Toy Store, actually opened up in Kaysville near this location where we hope Trader Joe's will be. And they did it because they have a store in Logan and they have stores in Salt Lake. And they just said it's just perfectly centrally located between those 2 locations. So we feel like Kaysville is great. We actually have a property owner who is reserving their commercial space for Trader Joe's. The property has been vacant for over a year, and they're waiting for Trader Joe's to come and to negotiate that with them.
Goodness.
And so we feel like Kaysville is just a really fantastic spot because we have a demographic that supports it. We have Station Park, we have Layton, we have Syracuse that are, emerging cities around us. And so it's just a great spot for it.
This is the city's second attempt to bring Trader Joe's to the area. The mayor says if it doesn't work, then they won't try a third time. KSL News Time 12:19. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Let's get an update on those slow spots. Here's Ricky Meese.
Well, the good news is southbound Bangerter Highway is open again, 4500 south from Taylorsville into Kearns. However, north and southbound Bangerter Highway at 1820 south, we are still dealing with an earlier accident. Now, the good news is the southbound side has all been cleaned up. This is at 1820 south, but the northbound side is still dealing with left lanes blocked. Traffic is getting by on the far right. Enjoy Utah's beautiful snow and whole family fun with winter tubing at Soldier Hollow in Midway. Experience longer tubing lanes, shorter lines, and more fun. Book your session now at UtahOlympicLegacy.org. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast, 49 today on the chilly side, but sunny skies. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy as a low pressure system passes by, 51 the high. 55 on Saturday, mostly sunny. Back to sunny skies on Sunday, 59. How about some 60s? Monday, 62, partly cloudy. A mix of sun and clouds on Tuesday, 64 degrees. Back to 63 and mostly cloudy on Wednesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, it's sunny in downtown Salt Lake City, 47 degrees. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Quick check of the markets. The Dow now falling about 200 points. A complete update of your money news coming up next.
Tonight at 10 on KSL, pregnant while pregnant? How did this even happen? When a Utah family turned to science to grow their family, the results came with a surprise.
It was very confusing to us.
And a mystery to unravel.
She had been a genetic counselor for 25 years, never had this happen.
News specialist Ashley Moser has their unexpected story.
I don't even know what to tell people.
Getting pregnant while pregnant. Tonight on KSL 5 News at 10.
Honey, can you swing by the post office and grab some stamps?
Done.
And drop off these packages?
Sure thing, honey.
Oh, and get the tracking info.
Got it.
But you haven't moved.
I know. How great is that?
This holiday season, the Postal Service is closer than ever with convenient ship-from-home services like label printing, free package pickup, and delivery notifications. You can send more holiday joy from the comfort of home. The United States Postal Service, delivering for America. Ship from home at USPS.com/holidayjoy.
Fall is here, and that means begging local teenagers to rake your leaves for you.
Come on, please.
It means the wondrous smell of your fireplace blazing on a crisp fall night. Only to remember you forgot to open the flue. Yes, fall had its challenges, and one of them might be that fall paint project of yours. But fear not, that's a simple challenge because you have 5-Star Painting. 5-Star Painting is custom home painting from interior to exterior to new construction. Each project manager lives in the area they cover, and 5-Star offers free color consultations through Sherwin-Williams, along with free color samples. Plus, if you schedule a free estimate, you'll discover how to turn that into free paint. Visit 5starpainting.com and learn about their 5-star reviews and overall excellence. 5starpainting.com. Remember to contact them about free color samples. 5-Star Painting.
You know that what I love more than anything is data-driven results. And that's what my SOTA weight loss journey has been all about. I know you weren't expecting data-driven and weight loss to come in the same space, but that's what SOTA weight loss is all about. It's SOTA, state-of-the-art weight loss, and it's science, it's data, and it's results that actually work. I lost 37 pounds in just 90 days. I'm almost 2 years in now. I feel better. I have more energy because I've learned through my coach and nutritionist, our weekly consultations. We've changed the emotional habits in terms of eating. We've actually reframed and recalibrated my body to make sure it's burning the right things for fuel so that I feel better, I look better, I can actually perform and be better. And that's the result that you want. That's the result that we all want. And I'm not the only one getting these kinds of results. There are thousands of people across the country doing exactly the same because it is based on science. As I always say, when it comes to your SOTA weight loss journey, there's no time to lose. There's only time to win. So start winning. The data and the results don't lie. Check it out at sotaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com.
KSL News Time 1224. Quantico may no longer be at Quantico. There's controversy over a Biden administration proposal to move the headquarters of the FBI to Maryland.
The accusation leveled by FBI Director Christopher Wray is that the Biden administration official who decided where the Bureau's new headquarters should be had a conflict of interest. In an email obtained by ABC News, Wray tells Bureau staff that career FBI officials preferred a competing site in Springfield, Virginia. But Wray says the political appointee at the General Services Administration previously worked for the Metro Transit Agency that owns the land in Maryland where the new headquarters would be built and lacked impartiality. GSA says beyond being a lower-cost site, a building in Greenbelt, Maryland is more likely than Springfield, Virginia to advance equity. It's in a county that's majority black. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
KSL News Time 1225. Watching Utah's money, Adidas could be in for a tax write-off worth over $300 million because of a shoe once produced by Ye. Now, the rapper formerly known as Kanye West made the Yeezy shoe, one of the most popular in the market for years. Now, Adidas might sell the remaining shoes and donate the returns to groups fighting anti-Semitism. Cirque du Soleil has done shows with themes on the Beatles and the jungle. Now it's mixing up with country music. The new show will debut next July in Nashville, and it's asking for singers and instrumentalists to audition early next month. No Shave November is bringing out mighty mustaches and beards, and Casino.org will award the best one $2,500. The month's end event asks people to put down their razors until December, to raise cancer awareness. Now, Casino.org will choose the best facial hair by selfies, and you can submit those on their website. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow down by 165 points. That's a bit of an improvement, but it's still about 0.5%. It sits at 33,947. The S&P 500 down by 23 and the NASDAQ down by 74 points. We are learning more about the latest weight loss drug coming to pharmacy shelves, Zepbound.
It is for people who are overweight with at least one associated obesity comorbid medical condition. It is not for people who want to lose, a couple of pounds.
ABC News medical contributor Dr. Jennifer Ashton says Zepbound has the same active ingredient as the diabetes drug Mounjaro. We'll update your drive up next. KSL News Time, 1227.
Utah's special election seems much closer this week.
Hard to believe we're into November already.
And we're 1 year away from another presidential election.
Polls find voters are not happy with the frontrunners from either party.
For wall-to-wall election coverage, we have you covered. Your voice, your vote, 2023 on KSL News Radio.
Do you know how to tell if a clogged drain is something to worry about or not? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I understand it's annoying and inconvenient, but sometimes a clogged drain can be a sign there's a more serious issue with your sewer main line. If the drains in the lowest level of your home aren't draining, or you flush a toilet and it comes up somewhere else like a shower or a floor drain, I'm urging you to look at this as more than just an annoyance. The last thing I want you to experience is a sewer backup. If you're a homeowner experiencing any of these issues, the first step would be to snake the line to see if it's just a blockage, which one of our drain techs can do for only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. And what's happening, Ricky?
We had a report of a possible grass fire by the side of the road. This was I-15 in the Sandy area, but I'm not seeing that, and traffic, both north and southbound, moving along pretty well. I have seen an uptick in traffic going westbound, 5400 south, in between, I'm going to say about 20th west over towards Bangerter Highway. Again, southbound Bangerter Highway open again from the earlier fatal crash investigation at 4800 south. And now on the northbound side of Bangerter Highway, we have the final cleanup of the accident at 1820 south. All lanes of travel are open. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Blue skies return to the state of Utah today, high of 49 degrees. Overnight lows will be cold just below the freezing mark at 30 degrees, partly cloudy. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies as a system passes to the north, high of 51. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny and 47 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City.
You're listening to Utah's New News with Maria Chaleos
on KSL News Radio,
102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time, 1230. KSL's top story this hour. Governor Spencer Cox and community leaders have updated their plans to get people experiencing homelessness out of the cold this winter. KSL News Radio's Emma Keddington has more.
The latest plan from Governor Cox and other leaders, getting 170 more beds in the West Valley Overflow Shelter. Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall said the additions double the number of available beds compared to last winter. Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson says this enlarged capacity is going to help people get out of the cold much earlier than past Salt Lake winters.
Mendenhall says the plan to get temporary micro shelters is still up and running. She says she's encouraged by the progress made so far. The current plan is to get those operational by mid-December. Utah's debt is the fourth largest in the nation, according to Wallet Hub. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit has more on how to bring that down.
Zions Bank Region President Stephanie Sherrill says financial self-control is one of your strongest tools to avoid debt. Really ask yourself, do I really need this item? And if you do, plan it out and try not to pay for it with your credit card. Speaking of credit cards, pay more than just the monthly minimum, but if you are in debt, talk to your bank and tackle the small debts first. This will give you the confidence to take on the larger debts.
Senators Mitt Romney and Joe Manchin have joined together to propose a new Fiscal Stability Act aimed at reining in the United States debt. In an interview with CNBC, Romney says that there's more urgency to address our debt than ever before.
But until the American people begin to think about what would happen if this debt continues to rise, why we're not going to be able to get the job done.
The U.S. is over $33 trillion in debt. Police say an elderly man has died after a crash on Bangerter Highway. The southbound lanes are closed at 5300 South while police respond. We'll get a full update with Ricky coming up in just a few minutes. A plan to build small nuclear reactors in southern Idaho to power some Utah cities has been shut down. KSL News Radio's Dan Bama says the power cooperative that was pushing the plan didn't get enough support.
Mason Baker, the CEO of Utah Associated Municipal Power Systems, says he's disappointed they couldn't get enough of their member cities to sign up. Still, Baker says they'll keep working on carbon-free sources of power, including wind, solar, and geothermal.
The association provides power to city utilities in Logan, Bountiful, St. George, and more than 40 other cities across the state. Utah voters have glowing things to say about their neighborhood schools in a new survey. KSL News Radio's Peter Johnston has more.
A new poll from the Deseret News and Hinckley Institute of Politics found that 84% of Utah voters were at least somewhat satisfied with their current neighborhood schools. Over half of these respondents say they're extremely satisfied, while only 13% of all the respondents say they're not. Utah Education Association President Renee Pinkney says this fits what the UEA already knows, that parents are happy with public schools, both as centers for learning and community. But it's not just about public schools, as pollsters also asked whether Utahns might be interested in applying for a new legislative incentive worth $8,000 that would go toward parents doing homeschool. A quarter say they would. Peter Johnston, KSL News Radio.
KSL's top national stories. More questions than answers after the White House announced Israel has agreed to 4-hour daily pauses in the fighting in Gaza. ABC's Inez de la Quatera is in Jerusalem with more.
President Biden pushing the Israeli prime minister for these pauses just on Monday. In that phone call, we know the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, was here in the region also pushing for these pauses to get humanitarian aid into Gaza, to get people out of northern Gaza. But we are starting to hear from the Israelis. They're saying we are already doing this de facto. They say this is not a shift, reiterating that there would be no ceasefire.
The U.S. State Department says the 4-hour pause will allow civilians to safely leave Gaza and humanitarian aid to go in. If you were hoping to head to Las Vegas to check out Formula One racing this month, well, you can breathe easy that your plans are still a go.
We have a contract.
It was 5:45 in the morning after an all-night negotiating session when workers at the many MGM resorts in Las Vegas, like Mandalay Bay, Bellagio, and Cosmo, came to an agreement with MGM on a new contract deal. It comes one day after their counterparts at Caesars Resorts reached a deal, but there is still no deal for workers at Wynn Resorts. The deadline is Friday morning at 5 a.m. Then everyone from cooks to bartenders and laundry staff say they will walk out at Wynn Resorts. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Ballot counting is resumed in 4 Washington state counties after they all received envelopes containing white powder. Washington Secretary of State Steve Hobbs says they are probably not the only ones that elections officials will receive.
These are acts of terrorism, and I feel assured that unfortunately other counties are going to get this letter.
He also says the state is offering personal protection equipment, PPEs, to election workers. No one was hurt. Authorities say the powder contained trace amounts of fentanyl. First look traffic. What's happening, Ricky?
I think we are back to a quiet noontime drive. Earlier crashes and problems on Bangerter Highway have been cleared, and your Valley Freeway traffic is rolling along. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:35.
Your friends come here for news and impactful, thought-provoking talk.
Boyd Matheson, the afternoon. I feel like he does a really good job of hitting things from both sides.
Inside Sources with Boyd Matheson from 1 to 3.
In your car at 102.7 FM.
Hey, Derek Overstreet here from the New Millennium Group, financial advisors in Utah. You know, I've been helping people retire in the state of Utah for the last 20 years. The way we do that is we actually find out what is important to you. We create a step-by-step plan that takes into consideration your income, your debt, whether you want money from real estate, stock market, annuities, life insurance, whatever. If you want to deal with professionals, people that are fiduciaries and have a legal responsibility and obligation to do what's in your best interest, give my team a call at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370. Or go to my website, utahsfinancialplanner.com. If you'd like to retire 3 to 5 years before you thought it was possible, give my team a call right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370.
Choosing the right Medicare plan is a pretty big deal, but it shouldn't be difficult. For many, it comes down to 3 things: access to the care you want, access to the doctors and hospitals you trust, and to be treated not just as a patient, but a person. That's human care. That's Humana Medicare Advantage. And we're proud University of Utah Health continues to accept Humana's Medicare Advantage plans. Experience the difference human care makes. Consider becoming a Humana Medicare Advantage member today. Call a licensed Humana sales agent, 866-945-4419. See all of the doctors and hospitals in the Humana network at humana.com/network. Providers may also contract with other plans. Other providers are available in our network. Again, the number to call for a licensed Humana sales agent is 866-945-4419.
Gillette Heating and Air Conditioning is offering furnace maintenance for 30% off. Call 385-GET-HEAT today to take advantage of this limited time offer. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Thank you for joining us for Utah's New News, recapping our top local story this half hour. Salt Lake's mayor says that there are double the winter overflow beds than the city had last year. We'll continue to follow that story for you here on KSL. KSL News Time, 1238. The Senate Judiciary Committee is debating whether to subpoena people accused of offering lavish trips and perks to Supreme Court justices. Committee Chair Dick Durbin says the court should follow the same ethics rules that other judges have to follow. It's a measure that the Illinois Democrat points out Republicans agreed with in a bill proposed last year.
To argue we have no constitutional authority to establish ethics standards for the court is to ignore this bipartisan action by this very same committee 1 year ago.
No vote was taken today on the measure. New research shows a relationship between food allergies and heart disease, and one food that carries a much higher risk than others.
University of Virginia researchers building on recent studies showing an association between red meat allergies and a higher risk of heart disease. It turns out it's not just red meat. What they found is that sensitization to at least one food allergen was associated with a significantly higher risk of dying of cardiovascular disease. The association to milk was the strongest, with up to 4 times the risk. And while those who exhibit allergy symptoms often avoid those foods, there's concern for those whose food allergies are symptom-free but still produce antibodies that increase the heart disease risk. Dave Packer, ABC News.
It's been 234 years since Thanksgiving was officially declared a national holiday by President George Washington. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has some other interesting Thanksgiving facts.
President George Washington was the one who made Thanksgiving a national holiday, but did you know it was Abraham Lincoln who decided Thanksgiving would be observed on the last Thursday in November? And far from the cranberries and turkeys we eat today, on the first Thanksgiving, the Spaniards likely ate a pork and bean stew, sea biscuits, and red wine. I'm KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris.
The rough start to the season continues for the Utah Jazz, who fell 134 to 118 in Indiana last night. The Jazz are now just 2-7 to start the year. Their next game is an in-season tournament matchup against the Grizzlies tomorrow night at 6. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. Let's check in now with Ricky Meese.
Valley Freeway traffic rolling along and looking good. No problems there, but we do have an accident involving either a motorcycle or bike, and I have seen medics pull up, but the camera is not showing the crash itself. This is in Sandy, 90th South at Monroe Street. I'm seeing a lot of slow traffic in the area, so you definitely want to be careful if you're going through that stretch. And it's a hot spot. This is the road that is so close to the I-15 junction, whether you're coming or going from I-15 at 90th South. So keep that in mind. But overall, your valley freeways and your main secondaries, back to a good drive. Witness the magic of the Nutcracker, opening December 8th with the timeless music of Tchaikovsky, performed live by the Ballet West Orchestra. Tickets at balletwest.org. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
We'll run a bit below normal today at 49 degrees, but sunny skies. Overnight lows will drop down to around 30 degrees. For tomorrow, 51, mostly cloudy as the system passes by. 55 back to mostly sunny on Saturday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 47 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And coming up on Utah's New News, the Hollywood actors' strike is over, but its effects in Utah are ongoing. Stay tuned to hear how the state is starting to rebound on KSL, streaming online at kslnewsradio.com and in your car at 102.7 FM. This is KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Guys, your promise is your word, right? You stick by it, you live by it. So does Revive Men's Health with our Revive Promise for low T and ED. The Revive Promise means your tests and lab work are free when you begin treatment, and our low T and ED treatments are money back guaranteed. Yes, that's right. We stand behind our treatments and our results. That's our promise to you. Revive Men's Health has successfully helped thousands of men with low T, ED, and sexual health issues since 2011. If you're experiencing symptoms like chronic low energy, less drive, sleep issues, weight gain, poor performance, bad moods, or ED, you need Revive. Don't settle. Get affordable, guaranteed custom low T and ED solutions with lasting results from Salt Lake City's favorite men's clinic. And remember, there are no extra bills when you begin treatment. All labs and tests are free, and your low T and ED treatments are money-back guaranteed. Call Revive Men's Health Salt Lake City today to schedule your appointment. Call 801-263-7777. That's 801-263-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Attention smart homeowners. You don't have to fall for flashy promises and companies that don't even prove their work. At Your Service Pros uses third-party verification software called MeasureQuick to ensure your new HVAC system is installed correctly. This ultimate game changer in the HVAC industry lets you, the homeowner, have proof of how your system was installed. At Your Service Pros utilizes our Bluetooth tools to upload all of your system's information into MeasureQuick. We rely on data-driven insights to properly commission, optimize, and fine-tune your HVAC system for peak performance, improving your family's comfort, lowering your utility bills, and extending the life of your HVAC system. With rebates and tax credits available totaling more than $7,500 on a dual fuel heating and cooling system, it is now more important than ever that your HVAC system be installed correctly. So call us today at 801-YOUR-PRO. That's 801-YOUR-PRO. Have the peace of mind of saving up to 50% on your new system and knowing it's installed correctly by calling 801-YOUR-PRO.
KSL News Time 1245, the three things you need to know this hour. First,
a teen accused of stabbing a fellow student at Copper Hills High School last week now faces a felony charge of assault in the case. I'm KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
Second, Utah has the fourth largest debt increase in the nation. 3rd. Traffic and weather together, Ricky.
Backups eastbound 90th south, and it starts prior to I-15 over to Monroe Street. That's about 150 west. And before you get to State, we have a crash with injuries involving a bike or motorcycle, and emergency crews are still arriving on the scene. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
40s and 50s for the next couple of days, and then we've got some 60s in the forecast. I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunshine and 47 degrees downtown. Time for KSL's top national stories from ABC News.
Humanitarian pauses will now be allowed in North Gaza. The White House announcing Israel agreed to the 4-hour pauses daily to give civilians safe passage out of the war zone and aid in. State Department Deputy Spokesperson Vedant Patel on the evacuation routes.
There will be 2 humanitarian corridors allowing people to flee the areas of hostilities in the northern part of Gaza.
President Biden, before boarding Air Force One today, says he spoke to Israel's prime minister and has been pushing for the pauses.
It's taking a little longer than I hoped.
President Biden delivered remarks on union jobs in Belvidere, Illinois today, northwest of Chicago, meeting with United Auto Workers at the reopening of the Stellantis plant following the auto strike. Earlier, the president announced in a social media post the first week of open enrollment for the health insurance under the Affordable Care Act has swelled to $1.6 million, a 50% increase, he says, from the same time last year. Enrollment continues through mid-January. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
And time now for the KSL In-Depth. Hollywood's strike is over and actors are celebrating the deal.
We have a lot of our strike captains on the line that have been close to eviction and have had their only meal of the day be while they're striking. So it has not been easy.
It's such a feeling of joy and of triumph over adversity and not quitting.
President of the Utah Film Commission, Virginia Pierce, spoke to David Dujanovic and says it had some big impacts on the film industry here in Utah.
And here in Utah, it was about $70 million in production that has been on hold. That was supposed to be shooting throughout late summer, early fall. That means fewer jobs for camera operators, makeup artists, set builders, location scouts, really anyone who works in jobs directly related or really indirectly related to making these shows.
Luckily, Pierce says most of the things that were put on pause will be resuming. That way, Utah's film industry can keep those projects, opportunities, and funds in the state.
I think even although the strike has, mostly ended, it is going to take some time for the production to resume and things to get back to normal. It's kind of a massive puzzle to fit together to ensure the actors can finish up projects they were working on that got halted and also start new ones they were slated to begin. So I think the impact is going to be felt as we head into the next year, but hopefully it will, pick up after that.
Holiday movie enthusiasts might be worried that they'll be missing those heartwarming films this year, but Pierce says the beloved Christmas movies that are often shot here in Utah usually don't film in the fall, so that they are being released as planned. She says the best Christmas ever was filmed here.
Best Christmas ever was mostly kind of shot in and around Salt Lake and Utah County, but mostly in Payson.
Surprisingly, most holiday movies are shot over the summer. KSL News Time 1249, traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. What's happening, Ricky?
We have a really nice drive on I-15, and that's both directions between Ogden and Provo. The rest of your Salt Lake County freeways seeing good speeds and no problems. We do have a crash in Sandy. Now, they try to have it out of the main flow of the intersection. This is at 90th South and Monroe Street, which is about 150 west. But because emergency crews have needed access to the scene, we are seeing bigger delays on the eastbound side of 90th South passing the I-15 junction. Many families face food insecurity. You can help by donating to Macy's Harvest of Hope Drive, where proceeds benefit childhood hunger. Now through November 30th, visit any Macy's store or online at macys.com/online to donate. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. Can you believe 60s are back in the 7-day? We start with 40s today, high of 49, sunny skies. It'll feel a little bit chilly. 51 tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. 55 and mostly sunny on Saturday. Sunday, not a bad day. 59, sunny skies. Partly cloudy and 62 for your Monday. We do have passing clouds, but peaks of blue on Tuesday. 64 degrees for your high. Wednesday, 63 and mostly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And it's a beautiful day. Sunny, 47 degrees downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Ooh, the market's not so beautiful today. Seeing a lot of negative numbers. Right now, the Dow is down by 221 points. A complete update of your money news coming up next.
Donate your car to Charity Hotline. This is Roger.
Hi, Roger, I'd like to donate my car.
Yeah, good. Leave the keys in it, park it on the street, and we'll send a thug. Tow.
Where's your office?
In New Jersey. Where do you want it to be?
Well, Roger,
Yeah.
I want to make sure my donation helps Utah kidney patients.
It will.
Which ones?
Well, does it matter?
Yes, I want the money to stay in Utah.
And boy, have you got the wrong number.
If you want your car donation to help people here in Utah, turn your car into a kidney car for the National Kidney Foundation of Utah and Idaho. Hi, this is Luz Lewis Perez. Kidney Cars is the Beehive State's #1 choice for charity car donation since 1990. When you donate your car to Kidney Cars, funding stays in Utah to help local Utah kidney patients and funds local medical research. Kidney Cars gets donors the highest tax deduction, along with free towing. Visit towcars.org and learn more. That's Tow Cars with a K like kidney. That's TOWKARS.org.
You need a mortgage, so press 1 if you're purchasing a home. Press 2 if this is a home refinance. Press 3 if you need cash back. Your call is important to us. Wait time is 20 minutes. Wait time is 20 minutes. This is not a great way to begin a home mortgage loan. Pressing buttons hoping that you'll end up with an actual experienced loan officer is not a smart way to start. Often it brings higher rates, higher costs, and long closing times. On the other hand, you can call Loans by Rick and speak directly to Rick, a mortgage lender that has closed thousands of loans since 2002. Rick will pick up your call every time, and you only talk to Rick, not option 1 or 2 or 3. Fast closing in 12 to 22 days from submission to clear to close with low rates and low closing costs. Call Loans by Rick at 801-809-SAVE. That's 801-809-SAVE or click loansbyrick.com.
Rick Kirschenbaum, NMLS 241179 and Vintage Lending, NMLS 287106 are equal housing lenders. Some restrictions apply.
Tonight at 10 on KSL, pregnant while pregnant?
How did this even happen?
When a Utah family turned to science to grow their family, the results came with a surprise.
It was very confusing to us.
And a mystery to unravel.
She had been a genetic counselor for 25 years, never had this happen.
News specialist Ashley Moser has their unexpected story.
I don't even know what to tell people.
Getting pregnant while pregnant. Tonight on KSL 5 News at 10.
Utah Symphony's Film and Concert Series delivers full feature films on the big screen as the orchestra plays the soundtrack live. Tickets on sale now at utahsymphony.org.
KSL News Time, 12:54. Dozens of protesters took aim at Boeing this week, accusing the company of targeting Palestinians through the weapons and aircraft that it produces. They rallied outside the company's delivery center near Seattle as part of what organizers call an International Day of Action against companies providing military systems in the war between Israel and Hamas.
We're here in front of the Boeing Military Delivery Center in Tukwila to expose Boeing as a weapons company that is profiting directly off the deaths, off the genocide of Palestinians.
Boeing has not yet issued a response to the protest or the accusations. Watching Utah's money, the financial ministers for the U.S. and China are setting up a potential meeting between President Biden and President Xi Jinping. Now, the White House is keeping the bar low of what could come out of such a meeting, but the plan is to discuss economic competition between the two heavyweights. Senator Mitt Romney made it on Jeopardy in the form of a question. Contestant Emily Sands won $600 by correctly identifying Romney as the man who said he was proud of the fact that he pays a lot of taxes. She won that round. Watching Utah's money, brought to you by Trajan Wealth, your trusted fiduciary advisors. The era of electrification needs an unexpected supply, tall trees. Renewable energy from the sun and the wind will still need to travel the old school way through wires, and that means future electric grids will need a forest of power poles. And your money at this moment. The Dow is down by 234 points, sitting at 33,880. S&P 500 down by 36, and the Nasdaq, it's down by 125 points. Residents in Kaysville want Trader Joe's to come to their city, and they'll do just about anything to get it. Mayor Tammy Tran says many people are submitting location requests to Trader Joe's to try to entice the grocery store to look further north in Utah than Salt Lake City.
In their request, people will send me a screenshot of, hey, this is what I said. These are the reasons why I said Kaysville is a great location. These are the things that I like to buy at Trader Joe's.
Tran says they haven't heard back from the Trader Joe's, but they aren't giving up anytime soon.
If you think you can't afford a home of your own, think again. Even with interest rates as high as they are, don't settle for a townhome or condo when you can build an R5 Flex ADU single-family home with a mortgage payment that is less than a townhome. R5 Homes' new Flex ADU homes are built to be both your dream home and your investment. Live on the upper floors and rent your beautiful basement suite to offset your mortgage payment by close to $2,000. Then, when your family grows and the interest rates go back down again, close one door, open another, and use the whole house as one. The R5 Homes Flex ADU gives you the advantage. Visit r5homes.com to learn more about the benefits of a rentable basement suite and view our floor plans. Mention you heard this on KSL and receive a $1,000 credit or referral incentive. Restrictions apply. What are you waiting for? You owe it to yourself to visit our model and see how you can qualify for a single-family home that will produce income for years to come. Visit r5homes.com.
Fall is here, and that means begging local teenagers to rake your leaves for you.
Come on, please.
It means the wondrous smell of your fireplace blazing on a crisp fall night. Only to remember you forgot to open the flue. Yes, fall had its challenges, and one of them might be that fall paint project of yours. But fear not, that's a simple challenge because you have 5-Star Painting. 5-Star Painting is custom home painting from interior to exterior to new construction. Each project manager lives in the area they cover, and 5-Star offers free color consultations through Sherwin-Williams, along with free color samples. Plus, if you schedule a free estimate, you'll discover how to turn that into free paint. Visit 5starpainting.com and learn about their 5-star reviews and overall excellence. 5starpainting.com. Remember to contact them about free color samples. 5-Star Painting.
You trust us for news and information in your car. Now trust us at home. KSL News Radio is your window to the outside world, keeping you informed on the latest breaking news, weather, traffic, sports, and more. Listen on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. Just say, Alexa, open KSL News Radio, or listen on the KSL News Radio app. Text the word app to 57500. KSL News Radio, Utah's all-day companion for news.
KSL News Time, 12:59. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's new Dividend Plus checking account. And here's Ricky Meese.
Still seeing good speeds along your freeways in Salt Lake County and on I-15 both directions. Between Ogden and Provo, but we do have debris reported in the road southbound I-15 near 4th North in Payson for Utah County drivers. Also, don't forget, we do have a crash with possible injuries and now maybe some police activity related to it. And this is going to be Monroe Street at 90th South. Monroe is about 150 west. You will see some busy traffic both directions of 90th South between I-15 and State. It's the season of giving at Murdoch Chevrolet. Right now, take up to $6,000 off select Silverado 1500s. When you walk through the doors, you feel like family at Murdoch Chevrolet in Logan Woods Cross or online at murdochchev.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
High today of 49. Temperatures climbing through early next week. By Monday of next week, 62 degrees. 46 degrees right now downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
Listen at home on any smart speaker.
And in your car at 102.7 FM.
This is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon. It's 1 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Britt Johnson. KSL's top story this hour, parents and students at Pleasant Grove High protested outside the Utah High School Activities Association today over their decision not to overturn their season-ending loss to Sky Ridge after they had an ineligible player on the field. Mia Peterson graduated from Pleasant Grove High. Her younger brother is on the football team.
Having a real shot and then it just getting taken away when you played like your very hardest is just... that would just be so unfair, and I was just so sad for my brother.
In previous years, teams who had ineligible players on the field had to forfeit their seasons, like the 2019 Lone Peak team. KSL has reached out to the UHSAA for comment, but we're still waiting to hear back. A bipartisan political movement with ties to a former Utah governor is hoping to provide voters with an alternative in 2024. Former Utah Governor John Huntsman is one of the co-chairs of the group called No Labels. Today, its national director Joe Cunningham says No Labels is looking for a presidential candidate who is willing and able to work with both sides of the political aisle. Earlier this year, No Labels hinted at plans for a unity campaign in the 2024 race, but stopped short of naming any candidates. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Envelopes sent to election offices this week in at least 2 states are being called a case of domestic terrorism. ABC's Alex Stone reports.
Officials in Washington state and in Georgia are acknowledging suspicious envelopes with